Hello everybody, my name is Spoons Rattling. I am currently sick, and for some reason I'm doing the most insane video I've ever done and probably will ever do. We're ranking literally every single Warhammer kit currently on sale, excluding Forge World. Now I want you to go down in the comments and guess how many kits that is. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll even put on some royalty-free Jeopardy-esque music while you wait. Locked in your guess? Well, I'm sorry to say, you're probably wrong, because it is 725 kits. 725. Excluding upgrade frames and stuff like that. I did them in the order they're presented on the shop, and I tried to exclude any duplicates. So, for example, the Sisters of Silence use the same rhino as the Space Marines, so there's just the one rhino entry. But the Sisters of Battle use a different rhino kit, so that's a different kit. Alright, let's start the suffering. First up, Adrax Agatone. He is a very cool model. I very much like him. Oh, and one last thing, before we rank this guy. The best of the best. Each faction can only have one model in this tier. This is going to be my favorites, and then the rest are self-explanatory. So grab a drink, grab a snack, let's get started. Back to Adrax Agatone. This guy, very cool model. I love Salamanders as a faction. I love their color scheme. I love the fire, flame decals that they put on their armor. We're going to put Adrax Agatone in A. Yeah. Next up, we have Aggressors, which are the Gravis Infantry with Power Fists. I do quite like Aggressors, but they're not my absolute favorite. We're going to put them in B. Primaris Ancient. It's a pretty lame character model. He's probably going to end up at the bottom of B tier. Apothecary Biologist. I like this guy. I like his deagle. I like his big tube. Gravis Apothecary. Very cool. Asmodai. Absolutely fire model. Like, he is so sick. Asmodai is one of the sickest models from the Dark Angels range refresh. Assault Centurions. I'm not a big Centurion fan, though I prefer Assaults to Devs. They're too chunky, and I don't like the way their helmets look. They're going in the C tier. Assault Terminators. Now, if you've been on this channel, you know I'm a fan of Assault Terminators, and Terminators as a whole. But with all the new Terminators, these guys are really starting to show their age. We're going to throw them in probably at the bottom of A tier. Assault Intercessors. Assault Intercessors are pretty solid. I like Mark 10. I think it's a cool set of armor. We're going to throw these guys in, like, near the top of B tier. That's where most of the standard infantry are going to go, probably. Asterath, so first knock, resin model, second ugly model. This guy's going to D tier. Now, this may change, but Azrael is my favorite Dark Angels model. This guy is going to be our first entry on the best of the best, so unless I change my mind, no other Dark Angels are going in this tier. Ball Predator. I like Predators. This thing has a big flame gun or twin assault cannons, which I also like. This is a cool tank. It is going in A tier. Ballistus Dreadnought. I love Dreadnoughts, I love the Redemptor chassis, and I love las cannons and rocket launchers. This guy also going in A tier. Basic Primaris Lieutenant. This is just an intercessor with a power sword. He's going in B tier. Old Primaris Captain, same deal. Not a huge fan. Mostly been usurped. Belial. Hate this model. Let me explain. He's too boring. That's all the explanation you're getting. Bjorn the Fell-Handed. I love Dreadnoughts. I love Dreadnoughts with cool melee weapons. This guy's going to S tier. Black Templars Castellan. I do really like this model. I love anything Firstborn-esque. This guy's going to go in A tier. Primaris Crusader Squad. These guys are pretty fire. I can't even deny. I love the varied armor sets. We're going to put these guys probably in the middle of A tier. Next up, Black Templars Marshal. Black Templars Marshals are their equivalents of captains. And for that, I don't think this model's that good. He's going in bottom of B tier. I think he's quite lame. I don't like the pose, and I don't like the head options. Next up is the Blade Guard Ancient. Sorry, I'm crunching on some popcorn. Blade Guard Ancient, very cool model. I love the big skeleton on a stick. This guy's going to go into A tier. Same with his normal Blade Guard compatriots. The Blade Guards, very cool. Love these models. Blood Angels Chaplain on Jump Pack. I do, in fact, love this model. It's Firstborn, so I am partial to that. And I love all the details, and the Jump Pack is sick. This guy is also going in A tier, probably around here. These are Ooh. They're Blood Claws? I think that's what these are called. Anyways, they're the newbie Space Marines for Space Wolves. I don't think these models look particularly good, and I'm not a huge fan of the Space Wolves aesthetic for the most part, and I don't think these guys own it particularly well. We're going to put them in C tier, above Devastator, Centurions, though. Blood Angels, Librarian, and Terminator armor. I do like Terminators, but this is just not an interesting model. I don't even know why it's specifically Blood Angels. I think he has a drop of blood on his head, and that's it. He's going to B tier, above all these guys, though. Blood Angels, Assault Terminators. This is one of those kits that just has completely usurped the original. It looks a lot cooler. The posing's a lot better. Even though it's chapter specific, these guys are going in A tier, probably around here. Yeah, that feels right. Hey, stop licking me. Sorry, my dog's in my lap. Resin Brother Captain, bad pose, ugly model. Brutalis Dreadnought. As I've said before, I like Dreadnoughts. I like Dreadnoughts with cool melee weapons. This guy going to probably the top of A tier. Vanguard Veterans. Love this kit. Guys with crazy melee weapons on jump packs. They're a little... Where were we? Oh yeah, Vanguard Veterans. Vanguard Veterans are very cool. I love crazy guys on jump packs with cool melee weapons. And I like all the options, and I think all the details on these guys are really good. We're going to throw these guys at the top of A tier, below the Blood Angels Assault Terminators. There we go. Canis Wolfborn, resin model, ugly wolf, uninteresting character. Castellan Crow. I hadn't thought about it, but this guy is the best Grey Knights model. And for that, he's going into best of the best. Yeah, it's a great model. I love the posing. I love his demon sword. I love his firstborn upgrades. I think he's awesome. Next up, Centurion devs. With the other Centurions, they're ugly and I don't like them. Primaris Chaplain on bike. For the generic Space Marines, this might be the best of the best. No, it isn't. But he is going near the top of S tier. Absolutely fire model. Sick design, sick posing, great detail. Armor's awesome, helmet's awesome. What's not to like? Dark Angels Company veterans, on the other hand, are very cool. I like the robed look, but they're a little stout. They're obviously very old. And for that, we're probably going to put them around the top of B tier. Though I do like them for things like Kill Team. Next up, we have Company Heroes. I do like Company Heroes. I like all the models included. The Captain is a great addition. I think we're going to put this guy probably around here, actually. Yeah, that seems about right. Corvus Blackstar, ugly. And it's a flyer, not usually my favorites. Primaris Lieutenant with multi-part options. This guy's pretty cool. He's going to go on the bottom of A tier. I like all the options. I like the different posing you can get with him. It's a great model all around. Cyberwolf. I think this guy's in plastic, so I'm not going to knock him for that, but it is just a wolf with a robotic leg. You know where he's going. Straight to C tier. Dante. Primaris Dante. I'm still split. I love the model, but I wish they didn't make him Primaris. However, I think he's cool enough that it still works. We're going to throw this guy into A tier with his Blood Angels Terminators. Inner Circle Companions. Absolutely fire. They're very much like Dark Angels Blade Guard veterans. They very much fill the same role, and they look really cool. One of them's wearing a Mark 7 helmet, which is my favorite helmet. We're throwing these guys at the top of A tier. This is the Stark Shroud, which is the lamer of the two Dark Angels Storm Speeders. We're going to throw it at the bottom of B tier. This is the Dark Talon. It's a Space Marine flyer, so that's a bad start. And I'm not a huge fan of the look, but still it's better than some others. We're going to throw it at the bottom of B tier as well. For the same reason the Vanguard veterans are super highly ranked, we're also going to highly rank the Death Company. I love the crazed Space Marines with cool melee weapons. Deathwatch veterans, also very sick models. Deathwatch veterans, very cool kit, lots of options. Love all the weapons they come with, and they're pretty well proportioned for being some of the later firstborn models. We're going to throw these guys at the top of B tier. but they're close. They could go up to A tier. Deathwing Knights. Perhaps my second favorite Dark Angels kit. Maybe third behind the Lion. These guys are so fire. I love the shields, I love the weapons, I love the posing, I love the helmets, I love the robes, I love everything about them. I'm going to buy them and use them as Assault Terminators. We are putting these guys at the top of S tier. What, Daisy? What do you want? Next up, we have, what is this? This is a Death Company Dreadnought. Death Company Dreadnought is very cool. It's the coolest you can build out of the Furioso kit, in my opinion. It's a Dreadnought with cool melee weapons. You know where that puts it? Right around the... No, that doesn't feel right. Probably around the Ballistas, actually. Desolation Marines. I think I like these guys more than a lot of people do, but they're still not my favorite. We're going to throw them at the top of C tier. Devastators. Space Marines with heavy weapons are always cool. These guys are going to go at the bottom of A tier. No. Top of B. Yeah, because B is still good. I know there's these up here, but keep in mind that B is still a good grade. We have Dread Knight. Dread Knight is whatever. I don't hate it as much as some people do, but I don't love it either. It's going to go straight into, C tier. Drop Pod is a vehicle with no real personality, but it's a cool backdrop, and for that it's also going to go in C tier. Eliminators, our first Phobos Marines. I do like these guys. I like the sniper look. I love the camo cloaks look. I love most things about these guys. We're going to throw these guys into probably the middle of B tier, around here. I'm actually going to move this guy down a few pegs, even though he's a Terminator. I just don't really like that model. Emperor's Champion. Yeah, Emperor's Champion is in fact going to be the best of the best for the Black Templars. Just their coolest model, in my opinion. Eradicators, Gravis guys with big melta-guns. Very cool. Going near the top of B tier above the Aggressors and the Dark Angels veterans. Ezekiel, 2nd edition model, so very old, very small, very uninteresting to look at, and rather poorly designed in terms of like pose and everything. We're going to throw him in D tier, above Astorath though. Firestrike Servo Turret. I actually quite like this, but that's just because I have a soft spot for emplaced guns. Like in Halo, I would always use the emplaced machine guns for as long as I could before ripping them off their base. We're going to put this Firestrike probably like lower B tier, but above all the uninteresting characters. Firstborn Chaplain. This is really not a model that I particularly like. I think it's quite ugly. He's going to go in C tier, unfortunately. Now, I love Chaplains, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think this guy looks that good. Furioso Dreadnought. This is a very standard Dreadnought with a little bit of Blood Angels flair, which means it's still cool. But I prefer the other two kits you can build out of it. He's going to the bottom of A tier. Grey Hunters. So this is a Space Wolves Tactical Squad. They're going to go in... Yeah, probably like middle of B tier. They're fine. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the Space Wolves. The Gladiator tanks. So we got Gladiator, Valiant, Gladiator Annihilator, Gladiator Lancer. Can't remember the name of the minigun one, but that one's my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of this design, but it's a fine tank. I'm going to put it above the ugly vehicles in B. The Gladiator Reaper. That's the name of this one, not Destroyer. This one's going to go higher up, but not super high up. It's probably going to go around here. I love dual miniguns, so... But I prefer the Predator chassis. And this is my least favorite one. We're putting it here. Captain with Gravis Armor Mastercrafted Heavy Bolt Rifle is okay. The other one's just way better. We're going to throw this guy probably around the Gravis Marines. But this guy's going to go above. He's going to go at probably around here, actually. I really like this kit. I think it's really cool. Grey Knights Terminators. You know I'm a huge Terminator fan if you watch this channel. And the Grey Knights one have cool helmets, cool weapons, and cool accessories. So, I like it. Grimaldus, everyone's favorite chaplain. This guy's definitely going to end up near the top of A tier. Probably above Dante, even though I prefer Dante as a character. We're talking about model. Grimaldus is just really cool. I like all the relic bearers he has with him. I think his pose is cool. I think his armor is cool. What's not to like, really? Rabute Gilliman. I do like Gilliman. I think he's a very cool model. Mark 7 helmet is a win. We're going to put him probably around here. Also, Adrex is way too high up. We're going to drop Adrex to like down here. Probably around right here, actually. I like Adrex, but he's not that cool. Hammerfall Bunker. Shit. Yeah, that's enough said about the Hammerfall Bunker. Heavy intercessors are cool, but they're still pretty basic troops. We're going to put them with the aggressors, but the aggressors are above them, and so are the assault intercessors. We need Helbrecht. Helbrecht, easy S tier model. Love that model. I love the orc. I love his armor. I love the servitor cleaning his stuff. What's not to like? Hellblasters, easy near the top of A tier. I love their plasma guns are my favorite design. I don't know what about them, but they just look really, really good. So, Hellblasters going into A tier. The Indomitus Chaplain. Or as I call him, the inferior Primaris Chaplain. This guy's fine. He's not very interesting, though, compared to the other one. We're going to throw him in, probably like upper B tier. No. Middle B tier. Hounds of Morkais. These are just Reavers. But I had to include them. They had their own listing, and they came in a different box. You know what I mean. Hounds of Morkai are going to go below everything here. Impulsor. It's fine. It's just not as interesting. I'm more nostalgic for the Rhino. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put it at the bottom of B tier. Inceptors, very cool. We're going to put these guys probably just about here. No, like this. Yeah. I like Inceptors. I like their armor. I like their blast shields. And I like both their weapon options. I'm actually slightly more partial to the bolters than I am the plasma guns. Incursors. My least favorite of the three. I like the screens on their backpacks and their guns, but I hate their heads. And that's an absolute deal breaker for me. We're going to throw these guys probably somewhere around here. Indomitus Captain. Indomitus Captain, very cool Primaris Captain. We're going to put him right above the Company Heroes version. Can you stop it? Lay down. Infernus Marines. A lot of Space Marines with some big flamers. I think they're pretty cool, but they're nothing too special. We're going to throw them probably right around here. Okay. Guys, you're cutting off circulation to my legs. You need to go. Infiltrators. The best Phobos Marines, as I call them. I love their helmets. I love their armor. Well, in terms of Phobos armor, I love their armor. I'm not the biggest Phobos enjoyer. But still, we're going to put them above all of this. And yeah, we're going to do that. What are these? These are Interceptors, I think is what they're called, right? They're the teleporting Grey Knights. I do like Grey Knights. I think their armor is quite cool. Which is the main thing when it comes to Space Marines, right? Is finding their armor cool. We're going to put these guys probably around... probably above the Death Watch veterans, I think. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put them. Intercessors. These are going right next to Assault Intercessors. Probably above. I mean, below Assault Intercessors, just because I like Assault Intercessors more. Interrogator Chaplain. Fire model. Going in S tier. Just one of the coolest chaplains there are. Though Asmodai is still cooler. Keep that in mind. The Mario Kart. The Mario Kart is a divisive model, but I think I like it. I'd say I put it above most of these vehicles here. Tactical Warsuit, similar deal. Also going to put it probably around here. Yeah. This is the Iron Priest, I think is what this is called. It's the Space Wolves Tech Marine. It's a fine model. Not a huge fan of the helmet. And I think other Tech Marines look cooler. So you know where we're putting him? In C tier. Iron Father Pharaohs. Sick model. And since the Iron Hands literally have no other models, he's the best of the best for them. I love his design. The heavy armor, the crane arm, the bolter, the big axe. It's all sick. The Jump Captain and Jump Intercessors. Jump Captain's probably one of my least favorite of the Primaris Captains, if for no other reason than I think his posing isn't quite as aggressive as it should be. But he is still a Space Marine with a jump pack, so he's cool. And same with these guys. They don't have the crazy weapons to bump them up to the status of Death Company or Vanguard veterans, but still very cool. Kaldor Drago, resin model, uninteresting character. He's going to D tier. Kayvon Shrike, same deal as Ironfather Pharaohs. He's the only model for the Raven Guards, so we're going to put him up there. I do like his model. I think he's very cool. I love the posing. I love the building he's on. I like his lightning claws. Honestly, it's one of my favorite of the chapter specifics. Kill Team Cassius. A really cool mix of different units. I love the Terminator that has a melt-a-gun underslung on his plasma fist, the Salamander. But it's sort of, I'm not in love with all the models, so we're probably going to drop him around here. The bottom of A tier. Koshara Khan, you know the deal. Out of these three, he's definitely my least favorite, but I think he's still a cool model. I like the Hawk. Land Raiders. All three. Just all three. Land Raiders are cool. The best Space Marine tracked vehicle. In fact, the best Space Marine vehicle excluding Dreadnoughts. That's what I say. That's what I declare. Can't go wrong with a huge vehicle with tracks and really big guns on it. Just a cool look. Lamarties. Unfortunately, he is resin, though he's a very cool model. We're going to drop him in C tier. Above... probably about there. Next up, Librarian Dreadnought. Second only to the Death Company Dreadnought in terms of coolness and what you can build from that kit. I love the big force pike, and I like the coffin. Or I guess it's called the sarcophagus, technically. Librarian and Terminator armor. I believe the first modern Terminator we've looked at, and that guy's going to go straight, probably around here. Yeah, I really like this model. I love all the runing, and I love his axe, and his weapon, and his posing is really good. Lazarus. This model commits a cardinal sin. You can't put the winged helmet on him, and for that, you know where he's going? C tier. Logan Grimnar on Stormcaller is a fine... No, it's not Stormcaller. Stormrider? His chariot with the wolves on it. It's a little much. I'm not a huge fan. I like Logan Grimnar himself more than I do the rest of his model. It is not more than the sum of its parts, is what I'm saying. But it's still a fine kit. I'm probably going to drop it around here. I never think about it. I think it's rather uninteresting. And speaking of uninteresting, a filler Space Wolves character, Wolf Lord Crom. Does this guy have... Does anyone know who this is? It's just like a ginger Space Marine. You know where he's going? C tier. Marnie's Calgar. A cool model for a pretty cool character with some cool buddies along. But he's an Ultramarine, which isn't my favorite chapter. He's probably going to go just below Adrax. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Mephiston. Oh, and by the way, we will get to the other stuff first. We only have about 4 rows of Space Marines left before we're done. With Space Marines. First up, Mephiston. Oh yeah, Mephiston. Best Blood Angels model. I love Mephiston. Sick model, sick posing, sick character. Messinius. Now, technically, the White Consuls don't actually have a chapter keyword in this edition, I don't think. So this guy's pretty much just a captain with a Power Fist and Plasma Pistol. But he's a cool one, but I still prefer the Indominus captain. Murderfang. Probably the most uninteresting of the Space Wolves Dreadnoughts, but it's still a Dreadnought, so I can't rank it too low. Probably bottom of A tier. The other Ravenwing Flyer, it's just the same thing with a slightly different gun. Njal Stormcaller. Resin model, but he's held up better than most. But still, resin model, so he can't really go too high. But I think I like him more than I like the rest of these guys. Outriders. They lack options. The bikes look good. They're Space Marine bikers. I mean, they're cool. They're cool. That's what I would give them. Let's put these guys... Where do we want to put them? Probably around, like, here. Paladins for the Grey Knights. These guys are going to go right next to these guys because they're pretty much the same thing. Just slide that one has a banner, the other doesn't. Phobos Captain. Phobos Captain is fine. But better than these two. Better than him as well. I'm actually going to put him above the infiltrators. I like that model. It's fine. Phobos Libarian. This is actually the coolest Phobos model. This guy's probably going to go around here. Yeah, I love this model. Love the cloaks, love the stance, love everything about it. Predators, shout out. Predators are pretty cool. And they're my favorite of the Space Marine light tanks. I'm probably going to put them with the Bell. Yeah, that feels right. I'm partial to the autocannon variant just because I like autocannons. Apothecary, Primaris Apothecary. Very cool model. Love the stance, love his pondering the gene seed. We're going to throw this guy. Where do we want to put him? Probably around here as well. Below this. Below that. This is the Primaris Chaplain that I was talking about. Sick model. Definitely one of my favorites. Going in S tier. He's just such a cool model. What's not to like, really? Primaris Librarian. He kind of just fits into the default character stance. He's not got much going on that makes him interesting. Now, this guy's the exact opposite. I love the Primaris Tech Marine. Very cool model. Love the Forge Arm, Fulge Bolter, the helmet, the axe. Everything about him is awesome. Even his unhelmeted head is good. This is a Purgation Squad, which is similar to Strike Marines, but they have some more heavy weapons, and I like them more than Inceptors. And Purifiers, I like less than Inceptors. Ragnar Blackmane, still a Space Wolf, so not the biggest fan of the whole aesthetic they got going on, but he's pretty cool. Probably going to put him above Logan. He's definitely the worst of the two models that came out of that box, though. Ravenwing Bikers. They're bikers, better than Outriders, but they're just surpassed by Ravenwing Black Knights. Razorback. Now, I like Razorback quite a bit. It's not as flashy as a lot of these, but I'm probably going to put it about here. I do quite like Razorbacks. I like the imagery of them with Devastators. I think that's a cool fit. I like it. Redemptor. Redemptor is the best of the Redemptor chassis, unsurprisingly. You can hardly beat the originals. I'm probably going to put him just beneath the Land Raiders. Reaver Lieutenant. Very cool model. Probably him and his squad are very cool, just in general. We're going to throw this guy, though, probably around this tier. And we're also going to put Reavers behind him. Now, I know Reavers aren't strong, and they never have been, but they're still really cool models, and honestly, I'd probably use them as infiltrators. The Repulsor. Standard Repulsor. Very boring, but it's probably about here. No, it feels wrong to put him there. And the Executioner is just a cooler version, but still, it's not that cool. Rhino. Rhino's a classic, but it's still nothing too flashy. I'm going to put it in A tier, though, because it's the quintessential APC. Arjak Stonefist. Yeah, Dollar Store Thor. You know where he's going. No, Stormcaller looks better. Who is this guy? Rune Priest? Yeah. Why am I even considering it? Samael. Resin character. Aged really well, though. But he's on a flying stand, so I'm probably going to put him at the top of C tier. Sanguinary Priest. Great model, except for the Chalice. I think the Chalice looks a little dumpy. But we're going to probably plop him in around this guy. I have very similar feelings between them. I forget they exist a lot of the time. The poor Sanguinary Guard. Crazy cool guys with weapons, but they're let down by their sort of uninteresting posing, and the wings are a nightmare to assemble. That earns them a few spots below their brothers, probably around here. And the Sanguinor, resin model, not interesting pose, and in general a little ugly. We're going to put him below Lamar. Actually, we're going to put him probably around here. Scouts. I like the new Scouts. I think they're really well proportioned and everything like that. We're going to put these guys, and I mean, I've liked Scouts for a long time. We're probably going to put them at the bottom of A tier. Maybe above the Rhino. Space Wolf's Venerable Dreadnought. Not as cool as Bjorn. Cooler than Murderfang. We're going to plop this guy probably around here. I like the axe and sword build. I actually have him above the Ballistas. Dogs. This is what I'm talking about. Stormspeeder Vengeance. Stormspeeder? Yeah, I think it's a Stormspeeder. No, because that's the big one. What are these guys called? Landspeeders. Landspeeder Vengeance. Much better than this. Much better than this. Much better than this. Much better than this. Much better than these guys. Yeah, we're going to go here. Stern Guard. I really like the Stern Guard. These guys are going to be one of the higher squads, probably right behind Blade Guard. I love their helmets, I love their guns, I love their heavy bolter. It's a 6 squad all around. Indominus Lieutenant. The coolest Primaris Lieutenant. Probably going to drop him just behind his Captain counterpart. Now, Massinius above him. Oh, God. What is this? This is the Storm Wolf, I think this is, or the Ice Wolf, or something like that. It's the ugliest flyer in the game, I think. It's way too boxy, which is par for the course for Imperial vehicles, but this is too much. This is just ugly. And I'm putting it below the rest of the Space Wolf stuff. I'm probably going to put it here, and I'm going to put its counterpart here as well. Stormhawk Interceptor is in a very similar spot. Not quite as ugly. I like it more than Centurions. I like it more than these guys, but not the rest of this. Storm Raven, on the other hand, I've always liked this thing. I think it kind of has a clone gunship vibe going on with the swooping wings and the missile pods. I quite like this. I use one myself quite a lot with lots of Terminators and stuff like that. I'm going to put this thing probably just behind this. No, I'm going to put it above the Furioso, but below the Death Company. Oh, wait. No, I did that wrong. No, Librarian Dreadnought's definitely cooler. Storm Speeders. Storm Speeder with the Melta is the coolest one. And it's still not that cool. I'd probably put it below the Invictor. And, in fact, that's where the rest of these are going. Next up, we have the anti-infantry one and the anti-vehicle one. Now, this is the Storm Talon, I believe it is. Also quite ugly. But I like it more than this one. Kind of has a VTOL look to it or something like that. Strike Marines. Strike Marines, very cool. Like them more than Purifiers, like them more than Interceptors, but not more than Purgation Squads. Ooh, these guys. These guys are, in fact, fire. We're going to put them just behind the Inner Circle Companions. Just insanely cool models. I love all their weaponry. I love all their paraphernalia that they have on their armor. Their posing is great. What's not to like? Tax Squad, my beloved. I'm probably going to put Tax Squad at the top of B tier for mainly nostalgia purposes. Do I think it's better than any of these? No, I can't do that. Below Devastators. Still, really like the Tactical Squad. Has some of my favorite special weapons. I really like the look of the flamers in that box. And the overall options it provides are just really good, I'd say. I like Tactical Marines. The Captain and Terminator armor. I like Terminators, but this character's a little bland. Not as bad as the ones in B tier, but he's not as good as these guys. Or this guy. Yeah, we're going to put him there. On the other end, Chaplain and Terminator armor. Very cool. Probably going to drop him just behind this guy. And the best of the best for non-chapter specific, you know who it's got to be. You know. You know. New Terminators. Great options, great poses, great weapons, great design, great size. Perfect kit. No flaws. Now, the one person to give Azrael a run for his money, the Lion, I'm going to put just at the top of S. No, I actually like Deathwing Knights more, surprisingly enough. I think they're just so cool, but this feels right. Thunderwolf Cavalry. That's all that needs to be said. Tigurius. He's fine. I don't really care for him that much. Probably like bottom of A tier. Torgaradon does go in best of the best for these, being the only... Oh, actually, no, he isn't. Well, the only one on sale. So, that's the only things that I'm including on this list. And things that are about to come out. Torgaradon. Like his big fist. I like his pose, like his weapons, like his head. I like him. What can I say? The lone survivor of Ogrim. Very cool model. Definitely above... Probably around here. I think I like him more than the Indominus Lieutenant. Ulrich the Slayer. Coolest Space Wolves model. Resin kit, ugly, but probably like it more than this because it. Where Sanguinor is just ugly, this has more of a classic feel to it. Same with Ezekiel, that's why they're at the top. Uriel Ventress, very cool character, quite like him. I think the model's pretty good too. We're gonna put him probably next to Messinius, but this doesn't feel right. We're gonna do. Come on. There we go. Venerable Dreadnought, the last standing box knot for the standard Space Marines. I love it. I love all the options. I love the different armor plating you can put on the different sarcophaguses. I'm probably going to pick up like 6 of these before the edition ends. Vindicator, the classic big gun with a shield on it, is very cool. Probably going to put it just beneath the Predators. This is what? Grandmaster Voldus? I mean, he's alright. He's not resin, I don't think. Vulcan. Resin. Great design. Hasn't aged perfectly. But he's cooler than Space Wolves. Sorry, Space Wolves players, not a huge fan. Watchmaster up next. The Watchmaster is a good kit, but it's not too dissimilar from the Veterans, so I'm just going to put him there. Whirlwind. Rhino with missiles on the back. Is going to go beneath the normal Rhino because I prefer the normal Rhino. Wolfguard Terminators. Where did Ulrich go? Yeah. These guys are cooler than Ulrich. And so is this guy, actually. Sorry, I was misrepresenting Ulrich as the coolest. He's in 3rd place. Wolfen in 4th. This is a Dark Angel's Lieutenant. Above these guys, but not by much. Now we're on to the Sisters of Battle. You guys happy? After 40 minutes, we're out of the Space Marines. For now. Astrid Thurger and Agatha Dolan. A pretty cool unit. Probably gonna put them like in the middle of B tier. Probably like right here. Arcoflagellants. They have a funny name, but I don't feel super strong about them one way or the other. Better than dogs, better than mech dog, better than generic wolf guy, better than... but not more than Lamarties. Battle Sisters, these guys are good. These gals are good. I quite like Battle Sisters. They were the first kit I owned myself, not this one, the old metal ones. So we're probably going to put them above the Grey Knights troops. Generic Canoness. This model's hurt by the fact that every other Canoness is cooler than her. Probably going to end her up in the generic character tier. But above these standard guys, and above this Dark Angels guy. And speaking of cooler Canonesses, this one. Sick model, based on a classic piece of artwork. Like it more than Tigurius. Don't like it more than anything. Like it more than the Whirlwind, actually. Castigator. Predator, but sisters. Predator, but not as iconic as the classic. Don't really think of tanks when I think of sisters. Probably going to throw it in with the Space Marine tanks I'm not a huge fan of. That feels right. Celestian Sacrosants. These gals, also really cool. Would definitely be fielding a lot of them if I ever pick up sisters, which I probably won't because I'm planning on finishing my Necrons, my Guard, then moving on to Tau, maybe. We'll see. Saint Celestine. Now, this might be the basic option, but I think I have to do this. Celestine is the coolest sisters model. Like it more than these guys. Don't like it more than these. These guys definitely like more. Mephiston definitely like more than these guys. And I like him more than Celestine. Resin Crusaders. They're fine, but the biggest problem is their resin. Probably going to put them around the Ultramarines Honor Guard. Same thing with the Death Cult Assassins. Except I don't really like these models. Belial's still my least favorite model, though. Crazy Woman Shouting. It's just a less interesting version of the Dogmata. Sorry to say it. Probably like her the least so far out of all the sisters we've looked at. Probably going to put her around here. No. I don't really like this model, actually. She's going into D tier. Dogmata. Do like the Dogmata. But I don't love the Dogmata. Like it more than the Canoness. Like it more than Infiltrators. But not more than Landspeeder Vengeance. Celestians and Dominions. Which I thought were built from the same kit as Sisters, but I don't actually think they are. I think they're slightly different. However, they're still sisters and cool power armor with cool weapons. What's not to like? Demonifuge, Ephrael Stern, and Kyganel. Very cool models. Like these. Probably going to put them right behind her. But no, right behind the Celestian Sacrosants, actually. Yeah. Here we go. This one's a close second to Celestine. The Organ Artillery, easy S tier. Classic 40k ridiculousness. What's not to like, really? But I'd say it's a lower S tier, even though I do love it. A lot of this other stuff just looks a lot cooler. Hospitaller. Very cool model. Very similar. I'd say I'd place it probably around Astrid Thurga. I like the Dying Sister. I like that look with medics. Imagifier. One of my favorite character models. Probably going to put them just behind Ephrael Stern. Immolator. Definitely very cool. Probably going to put it behind these guys again. Imagifier's going above them though. I love the statue. The Imagifier looks very cool. The thing she's holding up. Junith Eruita. Not a huge fan. I think her haircut sucks, which is the main problem. I know it's a weird thing to focus on with a model, but it's like, I don't think she comes with a helmet. And she's standing on a pulpit. You're going to want to look up at her, and her haircut just looks awful. And I'm not a big fan of her pulpit in general. It's a little too cylindrical, a little too uninteresting, and not armed heavily enough. Bottom of B tier. No. Beneath Samael. Resin Missionary. Mortifiers? Yeah, these are Mortifiers. Mortifiers are cool. I do quite like them. Like them more than these. Like it more than this. Like it more than this. Like it more than that. Like it more than all these guys. Like it more than the Canoness, more than Incursors, more than Dogmata. Probably going to put these guys actually pretty high up. I like it more than most of the stuff here. I'd probably draw the line at... Where do I draw the line at? Probably like them more than these guys, and that's it. Marvin Vol. Easy A tier. High A, in fact. I quite like her. The best looking Nundum unit. Probably put her around here, just behind the Stern Guards, but above the Sanguinary Guard. Novitiates. Lightly armored sisters. Not the biggest fan. Probably going to put them below the Space Wolves. Nundums. I've really warmed up to these in my times looking at them, but still they're not my favorite. Probably going to drop them around here. Palatine, this is just a sister. She's going in generic character land. Yeah, that's right. Penitent engines. Less cool than mortifiers. But still very metal in 40k. I think this guy's metal, and he's ugly. Sisters Repentia. Lightly armored sisters done right. But still probably just put them above mortifiers. Yeah. Retributors. Heavily armed sisters done right. These guys are going above these guys. And actually. Triumph of St. Catherine. Very cool model. Very cool. But where do I rank her? It's so unique that it's hard to rank this thing. It's somewhere between a squad and a character, really. Probably below these guys, but just neck and neck with the Grey Knights. This is Seraphim. Akimbo pistols, jump packs, badass. Jango Fett, basically. But sisters. Above Ephraim Stern and the Nundums. And same with their counterparts. But actually, I like the Seraphim more because I like the Akimbo pistols. This is another great model. Probably going to put it just behind the Canoness. Also based on a classic piece of artwork, which I'm a big fan of. And finally, Sisters Rhino. It's a Rhino, but a bit more tricked out. So I'm just going to put it behind these. No, behind everything. Me personally, I prefer my Rhinos a little bit more plain when it comes to the Imperium. The Custodians. I think the smallest list here, maybe the Chaos Knights are a little smaller, but Olaris Custodians, very cool. They're Terminators, so it's hard to go wrong with that. But they're Cataphracti, which isn't my favorite. And I'm not the biggest fan of their posing. I think it would be a little bit more interesting. But they're not bad. But that still probably puts them right behind Morphinfall. These guys are too high up. Blade Champion. I have a feeling all the Custodians are going to fall into a similar place because they're all pretty similar. They're just kind of guys in golden armor. But I like Terminators more than I like that, so. Sisters. I don't like these models, and I don't like this unit. But they're not hideous. I grab all the sisters, put them there. They're all the same thing, and now I don't care. Land Raider, pretty standard where the Land Raider's going. Custodian Guard, pretty cool, but just more Custodians, really. Virtus Praetors, do like Virtus Praetors. Not as big a fan as them as a lot of people are, though. I like Terminators more. And the Blade Champion. Trajan. I think this is pretty obvious. Great model. Great details. Love everything about it, really. Illyrian and Valea. I think I said that right, but do I really care? No. Wardens. These guys give the Terminators a run for their money. I like them more, actually, surprisingly. They're the reason I started Custodes. I wanted to run big blocks them with axes, but why do that in 10th edition? I can only run them in 5 squads. Hence why I stopped playing Custodes. Call. You know, he's a cool model, but he's not my favorite. Not because I dislike his character or anything like that, but But, like, he's not so that he, like, is below A tier, but he's probably the bottom of A tier. Cataphron Destroyers, I think these are. No, these are Breachers. Yeah, I like Breachers, but I'm not in love with Breachers. Probably put them here. And I'll put the other cataphrons here as well, which are right here. Taraxi. I think these are sterilizers. It's hard to tell when the picture's this small. But they're flying guys with cool guns. So, probably going to put them above Call. Where's the other Taraxi? Right here. Scorpius Disintegrator. An okay tank, but it's not my favorite. Probably going to put it behind the Impulsor and all that. Same with its non-gun variant. Don't like these guys. Very ugly. And same with these guys. Tech Priest Engine Seer. I like this guy. Like his pose. Like his weapon. Like his details. But he's not the most visually interesting. Put him behind Call. Archaeopters. I'm going to put these guys with the Taraxi. They feel like one and the same, really. Not in the fact that they look the same, but that they just feel like they go together. These are Rust Stalkers, I think these are called. I do like these guys, but the Infiltrators are cooler. Iron Striders. Iron Striders. Striders of Iron. I like them. I like Chicken Walkers. More than this, more than this, more than them as well. Go. Go. There we go. Now, if you can put something together, you know I like heavily armored units. So it's no surprise that my favorite thing from the notoriously spindly AdMech are Castellan robots. I think they're cool. I like their weapons. I like their hands, their guns, whatever it may be. And the little guy they got with them is cool too. Tech Priest Dominus. No, Manipulus. I like this guy quite a lot. More than these guys. Onager Dooncrawler. Second place for the best. I love this. I love this thing. Bottom of S tier. These are Cerberus Raiders, the normal horses, not the flamethrower ones. These guys are going here. Yeah. Yeah. As I was saying, Infiltrators are cooler. Right, I'd say quite a few magnitudes. I prefer their overall look with the akimbo swords. Skitari Marshal. Another great one. This guy's going to go up with some of the good characters, I think. Very 40k, very metal. Skitari Rangers, which are the coolest Skitari troopers, are going to go at the top of our little Skitari bunch here. Sidonian Scatris. I actually like this guy. I know a lot of people were like, why are his legs so long? But I thought it was cool to see super long legs come back to 40k. If you didn't know, telescopic legs have been something the Orcs have had since 2nd edition. Actually, I think it might have been Rogue Trader. Oh, that's... I just inspected the development. Yeah. Oh, whoops. I just scrolled through the entire list without grabbing the next unit. Plane. All their planes are way too similar to discern. Cerberus Sulfur Hounds. I don't like these as much as the normal horses. I'm going to put them with the Bikers or the Outriders. Huh. There they are. Sidonian Dragoon. Less cool. Probably going to drop him here. I like the auto cannons or the las cannons of the other ones more. This is the Manipulus. Which is I actually like more than the Dominus. The Manipulus, sorry. Another plane. Why am I putting these planes so high? What am I doing? No, this is too low. This is right. Daedalus. Go to generic characterville. Skitari Vanguard? No, Skitari... The Skitari without the hoods, and by that I mean the Skitari that aren't as cool looking. Now we're on to the Ages of the Imperium. This is Inquisitor Greyfax. Luckily, plastic. But, not the biggest fan of her design. I think her heels are cool. But, probably put her here. Swap this around. Arbites. I like the Arbites quite a lot. I think they're a very cool squad in terms of looks in both Kill Team and in 40k. However, I probably rank them below most of the Space Marine troops. I'm probably going to put them about here. Calidus Assassin. Like my Calidus Assassin. Don't like it more than them. Morvenval. Inquisitor Codiaz. My favorite Inquisitor in terms of design. But he's resin, which means I can't put him any higher than C tier. Calexis Assassin. I liked Calexis Assassin a lot, probably even more than this guy. Eisenhorn. Everyone's favorite Inquisitor except for me. Like his model a lot, though. I think he looks very cool. His pose is great. I love his flowing cloak. Probably going to put him... I can't put him in generic characterville, but I can't rank him too highly. But I can put him above Call. Eversur. Probably like this one a little more than the Calidus. Metal Inquisitor. That's not really interesting. Inquisitorial Henchman. I'm going to put these guys next to the Arbites. I feel like they go together quite well. Jokero Weaponsmith. Best model. Karamazov. Mr. No One Is Innocent. He's riding on Dreadnought legs. Got a triple melt-a-gun. Above the Space Wolf crap and the Devastators, but that's it. Sorry, Centurions. Curia Draxus. Yeah, she's going with Greyfax. This is Navy Breachers. I really like Navy Breachers. But I don't like them more than, say... Probably put them just behind Repentia. Elucidian Starstriders. Something about these models makes them feel like 15 years older than they are, and I'm not sure why. I like the rotor cannon guy and the dog, but aside from that... This is an awesome model. The Vindicator atop the ruins of an Imperial statue. We're going to put that above... Probably right here. Vindicare. Surprisingly, I think the Vindicare out of the OG4 Assassins is probably the weakest in terms of design. Model-wise, not actual design-wise. Hey, we're on to Imperial Guard. We're almost done with the Imperium. Aegis Defense Line. I prefer the older one, but it's still not hideous and it's in plastic. Right here. Sentinels. I do love me some Sentinels. I love Chicken Walkers. These are the best Chicken Walkers in 40k. Yeah. The Baneblade. On one hand, it's the Baneblade. On the second hand, 11 barrels of hell coming straight at you. My personal favorite variant is the Bane Sword, which means the Bane Sword's going to Wait, no. No, it's not. However, the Banesword is going in high S tier. Just above the, just above, just behind Helbrecht. Yeah. And same with the OG Baneblade. And probably the Doomhammer for that matter. But the Doomhammer I'm going to put down here. I like the big long barrels. Bulgrin. Awesome. Heavily armored infantry, so you know I like them. There. Cadian Castellan. Pretty cool commander model. I like all the options he has with the power fists and the chain swords and the plasma pistols and the bolters. But I prefer command squads. But he's better than generic characterville. But just barely. Probably put him above the breachers. No, actually I'm going to put him up here. Cadian Command Squad. A little regiment specific, sorry. But cool models. I like the power fists. Putting them above the name of creatures. Cadian Shock Troops. Good reimagining of the classic. But I think they're generally surpassed by their Krieger counterparts. Katachan Command Squad. Unfortunately, quite aged-looking. It doesn't quite have the cool character that a lot of other aged ones do. Probably gonna put it like down here. And same with the Cadian Heavy Weapon Squads. And the Katachans themselves are just ugly. Preacher with Chainsword, which I think we already did this guy, didn't we? Didn't we do that for the sisters? Well, I'm going to pause and look. Yep, we in fact did. He's right here at the bottom, and I just missed him. We're going to scroll all the way down and put him here. We're already an hour in. I think we're maybe 40% of the way through. Chimeras. Love Chimeras. Probably going to put it just ahead of the Rhino, because I like the more weapons it has. The new Commissar. I do like the new Commissar. I think he looks quite dour and less flashy than some of the other Commissars, which I think is good. He's a Commissar, not a Officio Perfectus Commissar. So he's going to go in good generic characterville. Creed. Pretty similar, but I'm going to put her above the Arbites. I like her model, even if she's not exactly what I would have expected from her Creed reimagining. I'm sorry I'm under the weather. I keep having to drink my emergency. We got Nork Deadog. I like Nork Deadog. I like his weapon, like his plate, like his hat on his loudspeaker. Probably gonna put him with with these guys. Hold on, my dog just disappeared. There she is. What were we doing? Oh yeah, Nork Deadog with these guys. This is the what is this one called? The Doom Scythe? No, that's the Necron thing. What is this thing called? It's a Stumpy Baneblade, which isn't my favorite, but it's still a Baneblade, which means it can't be that bad. Actually, I'm gonna drop it down here. And this too. We already did this guy, unfortunately. Man, we have a lot of ways to go. I'm probably going to have to take a break here and pick up recording shortly. Officio Perfectus Commissar is sort of on a similar thing. It's like the polar opposite of this Commissar wall. Two sides of the same coin. This is an experienced, high-born Commissar, while this guy may be a little bit more as a grunt jobber Commissar. And I like this one's options more. Field ordnance batteries. As you know, I like emplaced guns. I like these, actually. I quite like the heavy las cannons, which isn't pictured here. But overall, very cool. Probably going to drop this next to the Chimera. Alright, where were we? Gaunt's Ghosts. Really great, characterful models. Love Gaunt himself as a character, and I love his squad. Probably up here with Helbrecht, actually. Sergeant Harker. Metal model. Which is better than resin. And honestly, I think he's held up quite well in terms of detail. And in terms of not looking hideous, despite being a human, which tend to age out pretty fast. I think this guy looks pretty good. But he's still a metal model. We're probably going to throw him behind Kotiaz. Heavy weapons teams. Love them. Like field ordnance batteries, but cooler. Yeah, that's right. Hellhammer. Not the biggest fan of this one. I don't like the gun, it's too stumpy. And it does not pack nearly enough punch for what it is. Yeah. Hellhound. Now this is a good one. Similar to a Chimera, but with flamethrower on top, which is sick. Not just any flamethrower, an Inferno cannon. Rough Riders. I like Rough Riders quite a lot. I think they're really cool. I think they're really, really cool, actually. I think we're going to put them in A tier. Probably just ahead of the Virtus Praetors. I actually like them more. Again, I'm just not the biggest... I'm not, like, as big a jetbike fan as everyone else is. In fact, I don't actually own any. I don't own any bikes. I did not mean to bring that up. There we go. The Hydra. 4 autocannons strapped together is a good recipe for success. I like this thing. But not as much as, say, the heavy weapons teams. Next up, we got Kazarkin. And these are going in the best of the best. Or just buying Terminators, honestly. Kazarkin, looks sick, cool weapon options, and lots of them, and you can use multiples. Cool armor, cool helmets, cool everything. Like, this is legit one of my favorite kits they've ever made. And I plan to have plenty of them. And this is the special Kazarkin for Warhammer Plus. Based on a piece of artwork, which I do like. Which means I'm probably going to throw him in with the other ones that are. Based on artwork, that is. Pask, resin, not even has full legs, and he actually lost rule support. And in general, I don't actually find him that interesting. Sorry, Pask. That means you're going straight to D tier. Kriegers. I said this earlier. Kriegers are the coolest infantry models that they have, and they are going here. I'm dropping the Skitari Marshal down the back here. Lehman Russ Battle Tank. Now, I didn't get all the variants of it because my opinions don't change very much. I like all the variants. Maybe except for the Eradicator. Lehman Russ, classic kit, great design, cool sponsons, love the pintle mounted, love the hole mounted, and all of the cannons look cool. I'm partial to the plasma cannons, and I really like the auto cannons. We're throwing this baby in S tier. S tier it is. Probably just behind the Lehman Russes. Or behind the Dreadnoughts. Honor Dragoon Crawlers also dropping down to beneath these guys. Stop it. Stop it. Sorry, my dog was trying to eat my chair. Lord Solar. Great model. Love the World War I era. Sort of mixed with like War of the First Coalition look almost, if you know what that is. I love this. It's literally a dude in an era with giant laser cannons, and he's riding on a mechanical horse. It's sick. Though I actually don't use this model. I use a Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount from Age of Sigmar. Where do I put this guy? Where do I put this guy? Probably next to the Biker Chaplain. Manticore. Sick piece of artillery. Probably my favorite piece of artillery that they have, surprisingly. I'm gonna put it just ahead of the Chimera. Sorry, in front of the Hellhound. And its cousin, the Deathstrike. I love the Deathstrike. It's such a silly model. It's a nuke on wheels. I'll go behind the Manticore. Ogrins. Love Ogrins. Very cool kit. They're very silly guys. I quite like them. They're not heavily armored, but they are heavy troops. What about the Bolgrins, by the way? Did I rank them like way too low? I might have. I need to find the Bolgrins and make sure I didn't rank them like pitifully low. These guys I'm probably going to put just behind, say, the field ordnance batteries. Now, where did I put those Bolgrins? Hold on, I'll be back. Anyways, where were we? Primaris Psyker. This is a plastic kit, but I'm just not a big fan of the design. I think I get it, like, the Psychers are bald, but can I get a Psyker with hair, please? I know it's a weird thing to fixate on, but hey, I like hair. I'm going to put it next to Harker. I have similar feelings about them both. Ratlings. Resin. Not a big fan of the proportions on these guys. Or the poses. You know where that's sending him to? That's right, straight to D tier. Regimental Advisors. Metal this time. And I do like these guys. They're pretty characterful. But I'm going to put them in here as well. Rogaldorn. Big fan of the Rogaldorn. I love big tanks. Big tanks with big guns are even better. So we're going to throw this guy up into probably around the top of A tier, just behind these Bane Blades. Scions. Scions are less cool Khazarkin, but they're still being compared to Khazarkin, which means they're pretty good. I'm going to put these guys probably near the top of where I have my Kriegers. Just behind them. And same thing with the Command Squad. It's technically the same kit, but two different listings. Scout Sentinels. Now, I've sung my praises to Chicken Walkers, but I do significantly prefer Armored Sentinels to Scout Sentinels. We're probably going to throw this right here right in front of the Honor Dragoon Crawler. Shadow Sword. Funny anti-Titan. This is an S tier Baneblade variant. Sly Marbo. Awesome model. Awesome rules. He's just too funny to leave out of anywhere below a high A tier. Probably right above the Blade Champion. Stormlord. I like the Stormlord, but it's more like a mid A tier Baneblade variant. I don't know. The other transport one, we're just going to put it next to the Bane, so that Stormlord. Another metal model that's aged really well is Ironhand Strachan. I think he looks awesome. I think his details are very crisp for being metal. And in general, he's very cool. We're going to put him above Inquisitor Godiaz. Thorax. They didn't have the Thorax Prime listed for some reason, or the Thorax Normal, so we're just going to rank them together. I have similar feelings for both. And that feeling is it's not quite as cool as a Chimera. Valkyrie. Valkyrie. Best flyer. Coolest flyer, in fact. No, they're the Bulgarins. Probably put it behind these guys. Where's the Basilisk? I went through their entire listings. I didn't see the Basilisk. It must be temporarily down. Regardless, Basilisk would rank next to the Manticore. And Bulgrins are a little high. No, Bulgrins are where I want them to be. Wyvern. I like the Wyvern. It's cool. It's next to the Whirlwind. I like the way its guns look. I just wish they were maybe a little bit more punchy instead of just being 4 mortars strapped together. On to the knights. Knights. The last Imperial faction. This is the Acheron, which is probably my least favorite out of the Cerastus Knights, but it's still pretty damn cool. I'm going to put it right behind these Dreadnoughts. Canis Rex. Or it's technically a Knight Preceptor, but, you know. I like the Knight Preceptor, but I don't like it as much as some of the other ones. I like the more physical weapons that they have, such as the Gatling gun and the battle cannons. We're going to put him ahead of the Dreadnoughts. Here we go. Knight Castellan. My favorite knight that isn't from Forge World. It's got cool guns. It's got a cool design. What's not to like? It's a walking fortress. I want to get one eventually. This is the Cerastus Knight Vulcan Megabolter. That's what I'm going to call it. It's a Cerastus Knight. Better than the Acheron, but not by that much. The Cerastus Knights are very much overshadowed by one version of them, and that's the Lancer. Alright. Next up, this is the Knight Gallant. No. Knight Errant? The one with the Melta Spear. Very cool knight. Probably going to rank it sort of near these other big vehicles. Yeah, I can see that. Is this the Gallants? This is the melee one. The thing is, similar to Custodes, all these knights are so similar, there's no point in differentiating them that much. This one's the coolest because it has a Gatling gun. This one's pretty cool. It's got 2 guns. But I prefer melee knights. And this one is the generic. The fist is cooler. Armiger Helvrins. They're pretty cool. I'm going to put them behind the Dreadnought Brigade back here, and same with Warglaves. Which I've now misplaced. There they are. Cerastus Knight Lancer. This thing's sick. One of my favorites. We're going to put this guy probably just ahead of the Land Raiders. Knight Valiant. Also pretty damn sick. I'm going to put it at the bottom of S tier. I love the Giant Harpoon. Not so much a big fan of the Giant Flamers. But with that, after an hour and 20 minutes, we are now on to Chaos. We're 33% done. I will go take a break, feed and walk my dogs, and make myself dinner. I suggest you guys do the same, though this is only going to be like a 5-second skip. Alright, and we're back. It's the next day. We're about a third way through. I think we've got about 450 models left to go. Let's not waste any more time and get into the Chaos Demons, which I'm just going to preface by saying it's not one of my favorite armies. Don't expect any of these to rank too highly. First up, Infernal and Rapturous. And I will say, this is a great model. Very Warhammer, very cool. We're going to put this gal probably near like the Watchmaster, I'd say. But probably below these guys. I'm more of a heavy armor kind of guy. And below the Reavers, and actually below the Sisters and this. Yeah, that's right. Beast of Nurgle. Very customizable kit. Pretty cool. I like them in Darktide. But, it's probably going to be a lower B tier kind of thing. I'd probably put it sort of in this mix around here. I like it more than the Space Wolves. And I like it more than these Sisters. We're going to put it here. Be'lakor. Now, I know people are going to say this is the easy choice, but this is the best model in the Demon's range, and I don't think it's particularly close. Right? I mean, it's either that or the Bloodthirster. I'm not a big fan of... It's that, the Bloodthirster, or the Be'lakor. Change of voice, sorry. Blood Crushers. I do like Blood Crushers. I think they're pretty cool. I like Juggernauts, and Bloodletters are cool. Those guys are probably going to go with a lot of the other mounted units, like around here. I'd say I like them less than the mechanical horses of the AdMech. Bloodletters themselves, they're probably going to go with the other troops I don't really care about at the bottom of B tier. Burning Chariot, I believe this is what this is. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. It's fine. It's plastic. It's got a cool base. It's most of them are going to end up here or in C tier. Blue Horrors and Brimstone Horrors, they're fine. They're all fine. No, I'm putting these guys way too high. I'm going to put them like down here next to the Space Wolves stuff. I'll keep the Bloodletters up there. I'll keep the Burning Chariot. No, actually I won't. The Burning Chariot I do not like more than this guy. Right there. The Changeling. Changeling's a cool model. I'll probably put him sort of in alright Characterville. Yeah, I'll put him behind the Indomitus Chaplain. This is the Herald of Tzeentch. I like the Moonhead. Kind of reminds me of that McDonald's guy. If you can't tell, I'm not the biggest Demons fan. This is the Seeker Chariot, I want to say. I don't really like the Demons of Slaanesh range. I think it's honestly the weakest part of the Demons range. Yeah, it's going with the Fulgurite Priests. Demon Prince. I do like Demon Princes. I'm going to put this Demon Prince, because I'm treating this as different to the Heretic Astartes one. I'm treating it as this model, not the Heretic Astartes one. We're probably going to put this build of this one probably in the middle of A tier, probably around like the Assassins. Next up is Demonettes. I think these models just don't look very good. No, I'm not trying to be like, oh, they need to be beautiful women, but like they're just not. I don't like their hair. That's the biggest thing, really. We're gonna throw most of the. Okay, here's a great model. I'm not even gonna lie. I love the Bloodthirster. It's a classic. This is gonna be in S tier, probably above the Knight Valiant and this. Yeah, we'll put it there. Skull Cannon. I like the Skull Cannon. It's a cool model, but it's probably gonna end up with like the Sisters of Silence above these guys and above the Flyers. Epidemius, resin model that I don't think looked good even back in the day. You know where that's putting it? Yeah, near the bottom of D tier. This is an Exalted Flamer, I believe is the name. It's okay, I'm going to put it next to the dual build it has. This is a Herald of Tzeentch on Screamer Chariot, I think is what it's called. No, Fate Skimmer. Fate Skimmer. Fate Skimmer. Yeah, I'll put it like here. Feculent Gnarlmaw. Fun name. Good looking model. But it's a terrain piece. So I think we're going to probably drop this next to the Aegis defense line. Fiends. These weird horse centaur things. No. Flamers. I do like Flamers. I'm probably going to put it with these guys. Fleshhounds. I think the Fleshhounds look really good. I'm probably going to throw them with the rest of the corn stuff at the bottom of B tier. This is a Herald of Tzeentch on Disc of Tzeentch, I believe. It's just whatever, really. I actually kind of don't really like this model that much. Yeah, that's right. Random Clean one. This is a good model. Probably more of an A tier than an S tier compared to the Bloodthirster. But probably a pretty decently high one. He's probably going to be near the Demon Prince, I'm going to say. I like the Great Unclean one. I think it's a greater demon. Flesh, yeah, it's Slaanesh. You know where it's going. Herald of Slaanesh, resin, so it's going even lower. It's going next to Epidemius. Herald of Khorne, put them right next to the Bloodletters. They're essentially the same thing. This is Kairos Fate Weaver, another great model. Probably going right next to the Great Unclean one, who's right here. And same with the normal Changer of Ways. Let's just throw them together. Next up, we got Karanak, the Cerberus of 40k, who's going to go with these guys. They're the same thing, really. Nurglings. I do like Nurglings. I think these are one of the better models in their list. But it's still probably going to be like a lower A tier, probably just behind like the Whirlwind, but maybe behind Tigurius. Oh god, I kept scrolling. Pink Horrors are fine. They're probably my favorite of the Tzeentch demons. Plague Drones are fine. Probably my favorite of the Nurgle demons. We're just gonna bunch them up all together in C tier. Plague Bears. I might need to reorganize a little later, but we'll do that when we're doing the final read-through of everything. This is the Skull Taker. It's another character. Rodigus. Since this is essentially the same thing, but not as good, I'm going to put it next to Great Cleveland. Screamers. I like Screamers. Actually, the Pink Horrors have been demoted. I like Screamers more. Blue Scribes. Whatever. Demonettes on Seekers of Slaanesh, I think is what these are. I don't really like these either. Scarbrand. Scarbrand also great. Gonna go right next to the Great Unclean, the Bloodthirster. Resin Herald on Juggernaut. Yikes. This is Skull Taker. No, yeah, this is Skull Taker. That's his name. Skull Taker. Pretty good. Put him next to the Bloodthirsters. Horticulus Slimux. I like him more than the other Nurgle demons. Sorry, I completely forgot his name there. Sloppity Bile Piper. Fun name. Funny model. But not a big fan of the Nurgle aesthetic. Soul Grinder. Defiler, but worse. Celeste, the Contorted Epitome, I think is what that would be called. I think I ranked them here. Maybe I didn't. However, I do like this more than the other ones. We'll put it in a pity C tier. The Mask. Yeah. I think I forgot the Contorted Epitome. Huh. Weird. Whatever, it would be with the other Slaanesh stuff, though near the higher end of that. So Chaos Knights up next. Abominant. This is the best Chaos Knights model. Just bar none. Love the tusks, love the Electro Scourge, etc. Brigands, awesome. One of my favorite brands of war dogs. Probably gonna go just behind these knights here. Desecrator is gonna go in the mix with the knights. Probably to the top though. I prefer the legs they have. War Dog Carnivores. Gonna go right behind Brigands. Night Rampager. I do like the Night Rampager. I'm gonna put it next to the Loyalist version. War Dog Stalkers, I want to say. Yeah, these are Stalkers. They're my least favorite of the three, but still, they're fine. Alright, now we're on to my bread and butter Chaos Space Marines. Abaddon. Easy, top of S tier. Great model, great pose, great options. We're going to put him right above the line. Yeah. Love everything about this model. I love the base, I love the cape that he can take. Everything about him. Just a great model the whole way around. Accursed cultists. I do like accursed cultists. I think they are very cool. I don't actually own them. They're some of the last Chaos Space Marines that I don't own. I'm probably gonna throw them into sort of lower A tier, probably right around. I like the Imagifier more. We'll put them behind the Imagifier. Azrak, the World Eater's Terminator. Again, based on artwork. That's a big plus for me. I love when models are based off of artwork, so we're gonna throw him next to the other ones based on artwork. Chaos Spawn. This is also one I don't own, but it's a pretty customizable kit. I like them. They're pretty beefy. I've seen them in person. We're probably going to put them sort of lower B tier. We're going to, because they're very old at this point. We're probably putting them behind the Wolfguard Terminators. Yeah. Chaos Predator. This is going to go with the other Predators. I do quite like Predators. I think they're very cool, and it's going to be funny seeing the Chaos Space Marines be the last ones with them. Chaos Bikers. Now, I do have a soft spot for classic Chaos Space Marines, but I think these guys, as much as I enjoy my set of them, go together so poorly and have so few options. I have to rank them really low. Probably the bottom of C tier. No, we're dropping them to D tier. Obsidious Malix, or as they call it, the Chaos Lord with Demon Hammer. It's a very generic character. Even though it does have chapter iconography, I'm probably going to throw it like here near Zechariah. It's monopose as well with no options. Now, call me predictable, but Chaos Terminators are the best models in this line. Right behind their Loyalist cousins. I love those. Great options, great posing. I love all the heavy weapons they can take. I love all the melee weapons they have. Great. Chaos Lord, the new one that isn't out yet. This guy is sick. Quite like this model. Like the posing, like the options. Definitely going to pick one of these up when they come out. He's probably going to go into, like, right around here, what I call pretty good Characterville. Ooh, excuse me. Chosen. This is a great kit. I love Chosen. I only have 5 of them because all my old Chosen I still have around that I made out of Tactical Marines. But these guys, great kit, great options, great posability, great customizability. These guys are going to be at near the top of A tier in terms of infantry. Probably right here, actually. Yeah. I'm actually going to put them up near here, next to the Sword Brethren. They're very similar, in terms of kit. Chaos Rhino. This is my favorite Rhino, so we're going to put it just above the other Rhinos, which are right here. I like the Havoc launcher it can take, and I like the spikes. Cultists. Don't like this kit because it only has melee weapons, and I'm not a huge fan of this aesthetic for Cultists. I prefer the, oh god, what is it called? Dark Vengeance Cultists that unfortunately have been out of production for a while. We're probably going to put them right behind these guys. Cypher. Great model. Just fantastic. I love the Frankenstein armor. I love his 2 pistols, and the sword on his back is very cool. We're probably going to put this guy in good Characterville. We'll put him in front of Uriel and Messenius. Ooh, this is an S tier. This is absolutely an S tier. Right here. I love this model. It's a great homage to the classic Demon Prince from 2003, which is still one of my favorite models that I still need to get around to painting. And this guy is awesome, even though I have unfortunately dropped him several times and had to repair him several times. He takes paint really well. I love all the options he has. He's just overall a sick model. This is the... no, I know what this should be. It is the... Dark Apostle. Dark Apostle. It's a pretty cool kit. I like the guy with the speaker face. We're going to put this guy near the bottom of good Characterville. Probably right here. Oops, right here. Yeah, I'd say so. He doesn't have a lot of options, which is the main thing holding him back. Dark Commune. These guys also going to go at the bottom of good characterville, probably behind the company heroes. Yeah, we're going to put them there. Overall, great kit. I love the two guys with the swords. They remind me of the Witch King from Lord of the Rings. Defiler. Now, this might be a slightly controversial take, but I know this model's old, and a lot of its stuff looks really stiff, but I love the Defiler. We're going to put it in A tier. I love this thing. Probably just because I use it so much in Dawn of War, but it's just such a cool model. I'm probably going to put it right behind these guys. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Fabius Bile. Dude is swaggy as hell. Easily at the top of good characterville. Which would put him right... no, I think I like him more than Custodes, actually. Yeah, I'd say so. I like his posing more than Custodes. Felgor Beastmen. Not the biggest fan. I know we wanted Beastmen back for a while, but they just don't do much for me. But I like them more than the Cultists. Sorry, I was getting a drink of water. Forge Fiend. I like the Forge Fiend. I like this chassis in general. Probably going to go towards the lower end of A tier, though. Probably just behind the art guys. Yeah. Harken World Claimer. I do like Harken World Claimer. I think he's a very cool model. And that's all that needs to be said, right? He's awesome. We're going to put him near the top of Great Characterville. Probably above Adrax, actually. I really dig Harken World Claimer. Havoc. You know I love heavy weapon infantry. I love heavy weapon infantry. And I love these guys' looks, and I love Reaper chain cannons. You know what? That is going to earn them a place probably just behind the art guys. No, actually, that's way too low. We're going to put them above heavy weapons. No, here. Yes. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Hellbrute. I like the Hellbrute. It's a box knot, which you guys know I like box knots. We're going to put it with the rest of the box knots. Probably right here. Helldrake. Don't own one. Quite like them, though. I think they're very cool in terms of flyers, but they are still a flyer, which means they're enormous and they take up so much space. But this one's probably one of the best. We're going to put it with the Storm Raven, another one of my favorites. What next? Chaos Land Raider. I like Chaos Land Raider, and it has some classic Chaos Space Marine flair. Let's go with the other Land Raiders. I need to get one. Legionaries. I love Legionaries. They are my favorite basic infantry in the game. So we're going to probably slap them right ahead of this glaggle of people. Yeah. Also my favorite kill team. Lord Discordant on a thing. I like this model. I do. Probably going to go in like the middle to lower end of A tier. I probably like it about as much as I like these Knights Cerastus's. Is that the right? No, it would be Knights Cerastus. That would be the singular and the plural. Lord of Skulls. You guys know I love Lord of Skulls. Lord of Skulls is going with the Knights. Master of Executions. You know, the thing with Master of Executions, I think it's a good model, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm not. I like the armor. It really falls apart for me is the lack of a really cool helmet. I think he could have done really good with a skull helmet, much like who we're going to get to next. And for that, he earns okay Characterville. He's not generic Characterville. He's an okay Characterville. But this guy, Master of Possessions, swaggy as hell. Love the skull helmet. Love the fire. Love the pose. This guy's going to go with the good characters of A tier. Mauler Fiend. Mauler Fiend's going to go above Forge Fiend, which is like right... Where did I put the Forge Fiend? I know he's around here. There he is. I like Mauler Fiends. I like the tentacles. They remind me of Doc Ock, which is my favorite Spider-Man villain. Fun fact. Noctilith Crown. Fortification. Not terribly interesting. Going with the Aegis defense line. The Commemorative Noise Marine. This reminds me of a friend of mine who plays the guitar, and I want to get him one of these. It's pretty fucking sick, though. I can't even lie. This guy's going into good characterville. Probably near the bottom, though. Above this guy, though. I'll put him above Messinius as well. Obliterators. Love Obliterators. I hope we get a multi-part kit with them eventually. But they're sick. What's more to say, right? They're heavily armored, big troops with huge guns. That's a recipe for me liking you. Next to the Sentinels. Possessed. This is another Chaos Space Marine kit I don't own. I think I only don't own about 5 of them. And this is one of them, which I need to get corrected. I have 10 Chosen, I have 10 Terminators, I need to get 10 Possessed next. But this kit is awesome. I know it's got some customizability. We're probably going to throw it behind the jump pack, guys. Yeah. Raptors. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Raptors recently. Should Raptors get an update? Why aren't Raptors getting updated? And I'm here to tell you why. It's because Raptors are still a good kit, and they're still in the current design philosophy of Chaos Space Marines. These guys came out with Dark Vengeance, so their proportions are smaller, but their design elements are still the same as current Chaos Space Marines. They're not getting updated for a while, and for that we're going to put them in the sort of the top of B tier. Sorcerer and Terminator armor. Fucking love this model. So, I'll have to censor that. This model is sick. We're going to throw this guy into good characterville. And I'm actually just going to really quickly do the same. They're the same kit. I don't know why I included both of them. Who's next? Sorcerer. Not the biggest fan of this model. He's going to generic character land. Traitor Guardsman. Cultists but cooler. And that's a good rating from me. We're going to put these guys with sort of the other guardsmen. Just behind the Krieg, probably. Behind the Scions, probably just behind these guys. No, we're going to put them behind Harkin. New Jump Pack Lord. Really like this guy. I think he's pretty cool. I think the posing could be a little bit more aggressive, but that's not the end of the world for me. Definitely going to pick this guy up when he comes out. We're going to put him in good characterville. Vashtor the Archifane. I do like Vashtor. I think he's probably going to be hovering around here with the other greater demons. Venom Crawler. I do like the Venom Crawler, but I'm not in love with the Venom Crawler. It's probably going to be more so like a sort of middling of B tier, along with some of the other light vehicles. It feels very much like a background piece. Demolisher. I like the Demolisher. It's going to go with the other Rhino chassis tanks, though. In fact, we're just going to put it right next to the Demolisher. But this one's in black, so it's better. Warp Talons. Raptors, but cooler. Though, actually, I don't really like the Warp Talon heads. I always use Raptor heads when I'm making Warp Talons. Warp Smith. This is a good character. This guy's going to good characterville. Probably behind this guy. Yeah. Quite like that guy. Liked everything that came out of that box, in fact. Ooh, now we're on to the Deity Legions. You may notice that the Deity Legions are all mixed up. That's just because I was being dumb. Mortarion is the best Death Guard model. I know it's... No, he's not, actually. But he is easily an S-tier model. Probably lower S-tier, though, in my opinion. We'll put him with above these guys and above them. Angron is the best World Eaters model, though, because there's no World Eaters Terminators. Simple as that, eh? Mephitic Blight Hauler. I do like the Blight Hauler. This guy's sort of got some Sentinel vibes to him, which I know is a weird thing to say, but they feel very similar in role. But I like the Onager Doomcrawler more, and I like Harkin more. This is a little high for him, actually. We're going to drop him down. I realize that I like Sentinels way more than I like this guy. Where's the Hellhound? Right here. That's what it feels similar to, Hellhounds. These are the best Death Guard models, Blightlord Terminators. Now you may be saying, you just put the Terminators there every time. Well, keep in mind, no I didn't. I didn't put Deathwing Knights or Grey Knights Paladins in there. So I have free reign to add every other Terminator to S tier. To the best tier. Blight Drone. I like I like the Blight Hauler more. Yeah. Probably gonna drop this guy actually like down here near the demons. Not the biggest fan of the Blight Drone. This is the Chosen of Mortarion, which is a bunch of characters. And here's my next take. I don't really like Death Guard that much. These guys are the Space Wolves of the Chaos world in my eyes. Same thing with Death Shroud. Death Shroud are Cataphracti Terminators, which I'm not a huge fan of, as is made clear. Oy, 8 bound, 8 bound, 8 bound. No more positive notes. 1,000 Suns. I do like these sorcerers. These guys are going into pretty good, probably lower good character tier. They're probably behind all these because they're a bit more generic than some of the others in terms of in their range. You know what I mean. Yu-Gi-Oh player. I like this guy. This guy's an S tier for me personally. Probably the bottom of it though. Jackals. I like Jackals more than I like normal cultists actually. We're gonna put these guys above the normal cultists by quite a wide margin. We're probably gonna put them near like Arcoflagellants. Ooh, Karn. I like Karn a lot. This guy's going to S tier. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. Khorne Berserkers. Quite like these guys as well. These guys are going to go into good squad tier, which would put them probably right around like here. No, we're going to put them in with the Custodes. The Stodes, as I call them. Lord Felthius and his tainted cohort. Do I even need to say it? I do like the Lord of Virulence, though. I'll give him that. I'm going to put him above the other Space Wolves Terminator characters. Ooh, Lord on Juggernaut. I like Juggernauts. I like Lords. But this guy is not as cool as Lord Invocatus. For that... What are the Blood Crushers? There. Lord Invo, though, going to great characters here. Probably fairly in the middle of great character tier. Magnus, another S tier Primarch. Where do I put Magnus? Probably with Mortarion. Yeah. I like Magnus more than I like Mortarion, but that's where I put them. Miasmic Malignifier, this shit's going in D tier. Really low D tier as well. Ooh, Mutilith Vortex Beast. It's a gorilla with a thing on its back. It's alright. This is the... Oh. We're gonna have to do something real quick. Sorry, I'm very tired. This video's gonna be like 3 hours long. These guys are dropping significantly. No, way lower than that. Way lower than that. There. This is the coolest Death Guard model. The Nurgling is a large part of that, but also I love his armor. He doesn't have his belly hanging out, and he's got a cool helmet. Where are these guys? I don't even need to say anything. They're Death Guard models. I actually like Poxwalkers. My thing with the Death Guard is they're a little too cartoonish. Not saying that they can't be cartoony things in this, but it just simply is the facts, right? Like, what can I say? What do we have here? Rubrics. Love rubric marines. These guys are going right up there with legionaries. Scarab occults. Now here's the tough part. Do I put Scarab occults in best of the best, or do I put rubrics? I think I'm actually going to go rubrics in best of the best. Yeah, we will. These guys are going to swap places. I'm going to drop this guy down. Tally man, tally me banana. Zangors suck. Typhus, his old model was better. Lamarty's is too low. We're putting Lamarty's way up higher. Ooh, alright. We're out of chaos. We're on to Xenos, guys. You hear that? You hear that? We're in the last third. And we still have this much to go. Okay, I might be able to tough this out in one last sitting. Support weapons. I like emplaced guns. These guys are a little old, but I like the gun options they have. These guys are going next to fire strikes. Yeah. Autarch. This is a great model. This is going in great Characterville. Farseer on jet bike. You know, Farseer on jet bike is a fine model, but it's a little old. The posing's a little uninteresting. Probably gonna go into sort of okay character tier, which I put him right around here. I probably like it more than I like these guys though. Autarch Wayleaper. Probably put it next to the other Autarch. I have similar feelings, though the other one is, I'd say, a few steps better. This guy's gonna go near the bottom of good character tier. Behind these, right there. Avatar of Cain. S tier. I may surprise some of you, but he is not my favorite Eldar model. He's not the best of the best Eldar model, is what I mean to say. I love this model, but I like some others more. Who's next? Striking Scorpions, the new ones. I think they look pretty good. They're very, very slim and slender. And I like that they come in boxes of 10. They're pretty good. We're going to put these guys... We'll put them with, like, the good squads. We'll put them behind the guards. Corsair Void Guard. Similar placing. I like their options. I think they're pretty cool and customizable. Yeah. I don't really like all the different outfits they got on because they're technically a kill team. Flyer. Eldar Flyer. I hate Eldar Flyers. I'm sure many of you have bad memories of them as well. New Dark Reapers. I know that some people thought their faces were small, and now that you can actually see their ear radars, people know that they exist. Keep in mind, I was one of the people that didn't know those even existed because the old models were so, like, looking up and looking weird. But I do like these models. I think they're quite cool. We're gonna put them with the other, with the Striking Scorpions, though. Death Jester. I like the Death Jester. This guy's going to the bottom of good Characterville, which I just scrolled past. Who's next? Guardians. I like Guardians. I like this kit. Great refresh. Love all the options it comes with. Funnily enough, if you buy this and you have some spare Eldar bodies, you could pretty easily make some fire dragons. So you don't have to use those awful resin kits and you don't want to get third-partied. We'll put them sort of behind the Custodes. Dire Avengers. Now, I like Dire Avengers quite a lot, but they're very old, and they do have some lopsided eyes. It's very obvious on the Autark. No, not Autark. Exarch. Where do I put these guys? Probably in, like, the middle of B tier. Because I do like them. Probably around the Arbites. Arbites, Arbites, whatever you want to call them. Eldred Ulthrin. I like Eldred, but I'm not in love with Eldred. I'm going to put him in good character town. I think he suffers from sort of middle Games Workshop, which is like the late 2000s and early 2010s. His posing just isn't that great. Oh. Alright, that was a call from my family member. Where were we? Falcon. Old kit, holds up well. Pretty cool design. Part of the Death of Armor facings. Where do I rank the Falcon? Probably near the Rhinos. Standard Farseer. He's similar to Eldred. I probably like him a little more, actually. I like him more than the Skyrunner. Fire Prism. It's a big tank with a giant fire laser. What's not to like? Probably gonna put him near the Predators. You know where this thing's fucking going. Ooh. You know where that thing's freaking going. Howling Banshees. I think out of all the... Is this the best Aspect Warrior refresh? I'm going to say yes. I like the poses, I like the options, though I'm not going to say like concretely that there's the best Aspect Warrior kit. It does have some problems of only coming in 5, and I need to get my hands on some Striking Scorpions before I definitively say so, but I'm going to put them just behind the Scions. They're not by much, you know. Jane Czar. I'm not the biggest Jane Czar fan. Not necessarily character-wise, but model-wise. I think the posing is okay. I think the weapons look cool. There's something about this model I've never really liked. You know? Sometimes there's models you just don't like, and it's hard to put a finger on why you don't like them. So I'm probably gonna... I can acknowledge it's a good model, but I'm not gonna put it in D tier or anything like that. But she's probably going at, like, here. Now, on the other hand, Moggen Raw, easy S tier. Easy. Even above the Avatar. I think that's a sick model. Night Spinner. Night Spinner is... Oh, I just pulled up that. Night Spinner is... going next to the Falcon. Sorry, I just had to fix that. Rangers. It's a good kit. Some fun options. Fun to paint. Good way to practice your camo. I don't know. They're probably going to go in sort of okay squad tier, which would be in like middle of B tier. Shroud Runners. The last thing from that box I haven't built and painted. They're fine. I'm not super in love with the whole scout biker thing. I'm going to put them with the other bikers. I think the votann do it better. Oh god, what is this? This is a... It's not a Wraith Seer, it's not a Farseer, it's not a Warlock, it's a... Harlequin Seer. I can't remember her name. But this is a cool model. I think the posing's solid. It's not too basic. We're going to put her at the tail end of good character tier. Who's next? Ooh, Bright Lances. Not Bright Lances, that's the weapon. These are Shining Spears. If I'm not mistaken, these are Shining Spears. Oh, that's going to bother me. Hold on. we need to double check. Shining Spears 40k. Yeah, Shining Spears. I like Shining Spears, but not because they're Shining Spears, just because they remind me of the 2003 Clone Wars show. Do you guys remember that episode where Obi-Wan fought Dirge and all the Space Marines, Clone Troopers were on speeders and they used lances? Yeah, I like them. I like them more than other bikers. Right here. Yes. Oh god. Skyweavers? Honestly, out of all the jet bikes, I think I like Guardian jet bikes the most. They're fine. Go with the other bikers. No, behind Ravenwing. Solitaire. Very solid model. Going at the top of okay character tier. No. In front of the Infernal and Rapturous, in front of them, in front of the Watchmaster. Spirits here. Love the Spirits here. Better than it's Farseer. Behind the Gravis Captain. Oh god, what is this thing called? It's the transport. Harlequin transport, that's what we're calling it. I mean, it's alright. In terms of Harlequins, I really just like their infantry. I'm not a huge fan of their vehicles. There. Storm Guardians. I don't like Storm Guardians as a unit, which is the main problem. What if I put them up here, right? So I don't want to put them in a different tier because they're the same kit, but... Swooping Hawks are hideous. Harlequins. These guys are great. Great, I say. Great. Just great. Probably near the bottom of S tier, but still an S tier kit. Ooh, this is this Harlequin tank, the one that people really liked running in Warhammer 40k 9th edition. That's really all I can give that. Oh, the Vizark. I love the Vizark. Would love to make a kit bash of something out of this guy one day. Near the top of Great Characterville, but behind the Master of Possessions and Dante and Info. Viper. It's a jet bike with a cool gun on the back, but it's an old model, but it holds up okay. That means it's going at the bottom of B tier. Warlock Skyrunner. If the Farseer Skyrunner could get worse, this would be how. The Warlocks themselves. You know where these guys go. Generic Characterville. Warp Spiders. Resin. They still look okay, but they're very much in a different style to the current game. We're putting them above Ezekiel. Above Ezekiel. Wave Rider. Wave Serpent. Whatever it may be. It's a Falcon, but not as cool. So we're going to put it probably in the sort of behind the Rhinos. Yeah. Still got some cool guns on it. Warwalker. I like this guy. It's like a Sentinel, but not as cool. But still, it's pretty close. A light vehicle. Not as cool as the Sentinel. Behind Lord Disco. It's just a big arch, man. What is there even to say? Now, I do like, what is it, Wave Riders? Sky Riders? Jet bikes. I like this kit more than most of the others, but they're just going to go right behind the Shining Spears, which I put right here. Now we're getting to the real good stuff. I love Wraith Constructs. These guys, top of A tier. Or near the top of A tier. I'm not saying they're topping everything. Probably right ahead of Blade Guard Veterans. And even though they're the same kit, I prefer Wraith Guard because they have cool guns. They have the D cannon, which is the greatest innuendo machine ever invented. Just ahead of the Possessed. We have the Wraith Knight, which might actually be my least favorite Wraith construct, but it's still pretty damn cool. We're gonna put it with the... Ooh, where do I want to put this guy? Probably... right here. The reason I don't like this one is because there's a Forge World version that comes with a way cooler head. And finally, my favorite Wraith construct, the Wraith Lord, which is going to be my favorite model from this range. More than him, more than the chapter specifics, more than Trajan, more than Celestine, but not more than Mephiston. I love that model. Very customizable, very posable, very cool. The Incarn, not as cool as the Avatar of Cain, but it's still a pretty cool model. Great value, too. You get a lot of points for what you pay, which means I will, in fact, be playing this at some point or another. This guy's gonna go probably around, like, the Dreadnought area of A tier. Yeah. Evrain, good character. One problem. Why can't GW make an Eldar with their hair down? I like hair like that more than I like her huge top knot, but it's still a pretty cool model. So I'll probably put her sort of near the bottom of good character tier. Also, she's not wearing shoes, which is a little weird. Okay, Dark Eldar next. Dark Eldar next. Dark Eldar next. Dark Eldar are tempting me heavily with how good their combat patrol is. Let's see if this convinces me. Archon. This guy's going to go at the top of okay characters. Not really any options, but cool posing. Even though it's a Middle Games Workshop era, it's got great posing, and it's got some cool weapons. What's not to like? The lack of options. I literally just said that. Probably go around here. Who's next? This is the Kronos Pain Engine. No, Talos. Even if I'm wrong, I'm not going to admit it. This is the Talos Pain Engine. These guys are weird and floaty, and I like that about them. They're pretty bulbous, too. But I'll probably put them just ahead of sort of the okay vehicles, which would put it probably right around here. And just for conveniences, we're going to throw the Kronos in there as well. I like the Kronos more. I like the Stinger Tail. Ooh, we're already on to the best of the best. Drazhar is the best Dark Eldar model. Probably just behind the Wraith Lord, actually. Homunculus. You know, the Homunculus isn't good. I don't like this model. It's like Fabian Bile if Fabian Bile had, like, muscular atrophy and never ate anything. Yeah, it's going next to the Dialogus. Hellions. I mean, it's alright. I prefer Vipers. Probably some of the weaker models in this range. Probably, like, just behind the Death Guard. Incubi. S tier. Easy. I love these models. They got cool swords, and they're pretty beefy as far as Eldar go. Which I like. You know, I like my heavily armored troopers. Cavalite warriors. These are just guardians. But the posing isn't quite as strong, so we'll probably knock them down a few pegs from guardians. So if guardians are right there. Guardians are right here. Behind Kelty Cassius. Lilith. Lilith Hesperax. This might be one of those cases where I prefer the older model, you know what I'm saying? I think that this new model, while the posing is good, don't really like the face. The face is a real deal breaker, in my honest opinion. IMHO. I just think it looks way too much like Lilith Hesperex. Just, it's tough. It's tough. It is, in fact, tough. Sorry, I'm just pulling something up on my other monitor. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Lilith. I think her model is fine posing-wise, but it all falls apart in the face. Now, I don't want to be like, she needs to be beautiful, but it's like she just does not look good. Now, that could be the paint job, but man, that model just does not look attractive in any sense. She looks like an old woman, which is strange for someone who's supposed to be, extremely spry and agile for her to have a face like that. I'll probably put her, next to the Hellions. This is the Raider. Classic transport. Gonna go up with a lot of the other classics. Probably around the Rhino. I like the tracked vehicles, Ravager, which is, I think, technically a different kit. But it's just a Raider with some more Dark Lances on it, which is a winning combination. Actually, I think I like it more than I like the Raider. Yeah, we'll do that. This isn't the Void Raven. This is the not Void Raven. This is going to go next to the other Eldar Flyers. I'm not a huge fan, design-wise. The Void Raven Bomber's better, though. Not Viper. What are these called? They're called, like Ripper jet bikes or something like that. That's definitely not right. I don't like the Ripper. These are Reavers. See, I wasn't too far off. Reavers. I like Reavers. I like them quite a lot. I'm gonna put them near the Shining Spears. Scourges. Jump infantry with wings are cool, and these guys get to carry around heavy weapons, which is also really cool. And for that, we're gonna drop these guys probably near the Zephyrim and Seraphim. Behind Ephrael Stern. The Succubus. The Succubus is a fine model. In a lot of ways, I think it's actually a really good model. I think the whole thing comes together really quite well as a model. And for that, I'm probably going to put her near the top of good Characterville, or medium Characterville. Probably just behind the Watchmaster, actually, Because I like pretty much everything about this model. There's no glaring flaws like her named counterpart in Lilith. This is a Venom. Venom, very cool. I love the sort of middle jet bike. It's very similar to a Viper, so we're probably going to put it just above the Viper. But it does have better... It's like a Viper, but more updated. So we're going to put it above the Transvectors. And the Novitiate and this and that. Yeah, I'll put it there. What's next? We have Rax. Rax. I like Rax. They're not my absolute favorite, though. I think they're probably second to the Cabalites, is what I would say. I think they're fine. They're fine. They're going to go in fine squad tier. Above mediocre vehicles. Yeah, that's a good place for them. I think next are Witches. Witches, I feel like aged the worst out of the three. I think their posing is the least interesting. Their weapon options aren't terribly interesting, but I still think they're a pretty good kit, if I'm being honest. I'm probably going to put them above the Rax. Alright, with that, the Jakori's short stint in this video has come to an end. We're on to Genestealer Colts. I'm going to pause really quick. Alright, fellas. We're down to the last 209 models to go, right? We're in the home stretch now. We've got Genestealer Colts up next. I do like Genestealer cults. Similar to Jukari, their combat patrol is very tempting. And we're starting off with Strong Suit, the Aberrants. You know, I like big beefy models, and I like fielding them in big squads. We're probably going to put these guys just behind the Bulgrin. Because they're very similar, honestly. And same with this is the Aberrant. No, this isn't the Aberrant. It's like it's the Aberrant but bigger. With a cool hammer. I prefer the Biophages, though. Here we got Acolyte Hybrids. An iconic unit. But I think the Hybrid Metamorphs look cooler. But let's not focus on that right now. These guys are going to go into good squad tier, which will probably be right around here. A Talon Ridge Riders. I like these guys a lot. I like these bikes. I like the Wolf Quad. We're going to throw these guys probably at the top of the biker section. Well, not the top, but near the biker section's top. Biophagus. I love this guy, the Evil Doctor. Is he... Yeah, he is. He is the coolest model from Genestealer Cults, methinks. Love that model. Very cool. Above this guy, though. The new Brood Brothers from the new Kill Team. They're solid. I'm going to put them behind the other Guardsmen, though. Which is right around... Behind Trader Guardsmen, behind good characters, behind these guys right there. No. Right here. Oh, the Patriarch, the Magus, and the Primus. Yeah. It's a really good box. I like the 3 characters. Probably the top of good Characterville. Yeah, I like it more than Jane's are. Clamavis? Yeah, Clamavis. Bottom of good Characterville. The new Genestealers. Absolutely awesome squad. Lots of tentacly mouths. These guys are going to go into A tiers with some other good squads. Love the new Genestealers. Ooh, Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler. No, that's the Necromunda thing. This is a Goliath rock truck. Goliath truck. I do like the Goliath truck. I think it is a very sick model. I really do like this chassis. I like the auto cannon on the side. We're going to put this guy right around the Rhinos, though. Probably right above the Sisters Rhino. And same with the Rock Grinder. Let's just get that out of the way. Acolyte, Neophyte hybrids. Sick models. These guys are going to go near the top of like the good character section. Did I put Brood Brothers way too high? I did. What am I doing? Right there. You guys come down here. Don't know why I ranked them so high. Eichenward. Middle of the pack on good characters. Same with the Talon Alpharius. Kellermorph. Okay, hold on. Biophagus is getting not knocked down a peg, but this guy is S tier, easily. 3-armed gunslinger, really sick. 3 revolvers, what's not to like? This is the Logis? Logis? Don't like that model very much. Same with this one. But probably a little higher up next to the Primaris Psyker. Like these guys. They're my favorite infantry from this army. Even though I know they're not as strong as hybrid meta... Acolyte hybrids. God, all these names are so similar. Probably just behind these guys. the Nexus with the map of Warhammer World on the screen, which is a really nice touch. I like this guy. I do. I do. He's going into great character tier. Yeah, right there. A Talon Ridge Runner. Is that... it's the Ridge Runner, is what its name is. I like the Ridge Runner a lot. I think it's a very cool model. Ooh, my voice is starting to get tired. A Talon Ridge Runner. We're going to throw the Ridge Runner probably next to the Rhinos as well, because I really do like that thing. I love the chassis it's on. I love the big... it's got like auto cannons on the side, doesn't it? Or no, I think I'm thinking of the Taurox. Yeah, I'm thinking of the Taurox. It's got stubbers on its side, which I really like, and I love the whole aesthetic. If I was gonna play Genestealer cults, it would be a lot of Goliath trucks, a lot of Ridge Runners, a big squad of what are they called? Aberrants, some Metamorphs, and then a lot of Neophyte hybrids. And funnily enough, Genestealer cults have so many characters that it's a meme, but I think I like all of their infantry more than I like their characters. Speaking of, Reductus Saboteur. No, not A tier. Right there. What's less? Oh, the assassin. I do like this guy, but he's going in a similar spot. No, not A tier. Oh god, this list is getting so big. Okay, Leagues of Votann. Another army I quite like. And we're starting off real strong with... These guys are A tier. I love Chthonian Berserks. I love the axes. I honestly prefer the axes to the hammers aesthetic-wise. And I love the mole launcher and the little guy that tags along. They're not S tier, but they're certainly A tier. Right here. Right here. Right here. Oh, Einherjar Champion. Quite like him. The dwarven Terminators are very cool. Very cool. But surprisingly, for being their Terminator equivalents, I'm not as in love with them as I am with a lot of other units in this list. But still, this guy's gonna go near the bottom of, near the top of good character tier. I love the two options he has. Grimnir, S tier. Dude is summoning rocks to walk on, doing what Professor X never could do. Who's next? The Einherjar Hearthguard. Very cool model. One thing I need to check is, do they all come with helmets? Do they all come with helmets? Einherjar Hearthguard. Pulling them up on the other screen. So there's the... I don't know if they do. That's them, enemy fire. 5 helmet heads. It does include enough helmet heads. Good. This is modern GW we're talking about. They're usually pretty good about that. I like these models. Honestly, I think I like them more than the champion himself. I'd probably put them right around the same tier as like Assault Terminators. Where are Assault Terminators? Not in B tier, I don't think. I've completely lost my mind, apparently. I can't remember where anything is. Right here. But above the Stormraven. Right above the Aberrants. And the Bullgrin. And the Warwalker and the Disco. Right there. Einherjar Hearth. No. Hearthkin? Hearthkin. Love these guys. Some of my favorite basic troops in the game. We're going to drop them probably a little below, like, probably run Guardians. No, above Custodians and above them. Love that kit. Lots of cool options, and the armor is really fun to paint, as I've done a couple times on this channel. Ooh, Brokir Ironmaster. This is another S tier, like most of the characters in this army. I love the squad aspect. I love everything this guy's got going on. I'm probably going to put him just behind this guy. Call. Probably not S tier, but definitely in the the contention for it. Am I an idiot? I might be an idiot. How did they all end up down there? Huh. There's some things I need to correct here. But regardless, this guy's going to go right alongside like these guys. I can't focus too much on that. This video is going to be 10 years long. Land Fortress. I quite like the Land Fortress. I think it's got a very cool aesthetic. I love all the pintle-mounted bolters or ion guns. Are they ion? Yeah, the energy guns that they use. I like both, and I love the big rail cannon you can give it. This is going to go probably an A tier, probably around like the, probably right around the Predators. Maybe just beneath them. Hernkin Pioneers. Good bikers. I'm going to go with the other good bikers. So we'll put them right here. Sagittar. Mini Land Fortress. It's a cool kit. It's cool. But it's just going to go near the Rhinos. Probably right around here. I like the big high-las rotary cannon it can take. Hernkin Pilgrims, I think is what these guys are called. The new kill team with the scouts. I love these guys. These guys are going right next to the Hernkin Warriors. I love the coats. I love everything about them. And it might finally be time to complete my Votann army with the next wave that comes out for them. And this is the best kit in their army. I love the exosuit look. I love all the weapons. I want a big squad of them. Yes. Jokero Weaponsmith, go to the top. Kazarkin, you go there. Emperor's Champion. Nah, I'd like that. I like that. Alright, that is the end of the league's... no. Uthar the Destined. Right around Eldred. Don't much care for Ulfin. He's going in the middle. Okay, so let's take stock. We have Necrons, Orcs, Tau, and Tyranids left. 4 armies left. But I've already been recording for, I believe, an hour and 10 minutes, which means I am going to take a break, make some food, go out for a bit, and I will continue recording later. Bye-bye. Alright, we're back. It's the third and final day of recording. We only have 150 models left, and we are in the home stretch now. Though one quick addendum, I realized that I glossed over the Blood Angels and didn't put anything from theirs up here. Oh no, I didn't. I'm a fool. I put Mephiston up here because he's the best Blood Angels model. Hello, dog. My dog has come to join us in our final 150 models. And we're finally on to the last 4 races, starting with the Necrons. Why do I sound so tired? Because I am sick, arguably more so than I was the last 2 days. But I'm going to get high energy because we're starting off with the Annihilation Barge, which is, okay. I'm not actually a big fan of the Annihilation Barge. It's going to go into mediocre Vehicleville. Probably near the bottom, above the Impulsor, but not above the Gladiator tanks. And Rakir the Traveler, perhaps the single most forgettable named character in all of 40k. He's just a guy, he's just a lord with a blue weapon. He is going into D tier, because he's also resin, and his ass does not have rules. Ahead of the Demonette lady. Canoptic Spider, now we're cooking. This is a good vehicle, or monster, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to rank this fella near the... Yeah, right here's good. I like that. It has a similar vibe to the Defiler for me, probably because I use it in Dawn of War a lot. Catacomb Command Barge. I like it more than I like the Annihilation Barge, but not by that much. So it's probably going to go in like upper mediocre vehicle tier. We'll put it like above the ATV. Yeah, I like that. Now we're getting into good stuff. Chronomancer. This is going straight to good character tier. Probably ahead of these guys. Yeah, I'd probably put it like right here. I love the Chronomancer. I love the tentacly lower half, and the cubes are cool. Convergence of Dominion. This thing's a fortification, and it's not terribly interesting, so you know where it goes. Technomancer. This guy's pretty cool. I like that he's riding a little wraith. I think that's cool now that he can finally really interact with wraiths. Finally, don't know why that wasn't, what he started out as. This guy's gonna go into okay character tier, probably like right around here. Why is Voldus so high up? Get back here. Right there. Death marks. Death marks are pretty cool. I'm gonna put them sort of in the middle of the good squads. Probably ahead of Celestians and Dominions and Battle Sisters, but not more than Retributors. Catan Shard of the Deceiver. First off, he's resin, so that really holds him back. And I think he hasn't aged as well as the Nightbringer has. Though I still think he's a fine model. We're probably going to put him sort of at the bottom of D tier. Yeah, that's right. Doomsday Arc. I do like the Doomsday Arc. It's pretty cool, but its problem is I think the Canoptic Doomstalker is like way cooler. So we're gonna put this guy in the sort of the middling vehicle tier, around like the Razorback, I think. Probably like here, but I'm also gonna move this up a few spaces. Speaking of, I think I'm going to have to do it. The Doomstalker is the coolest Necron model. I love the War of the Worlds look. I love the giant cannon. I'm partial to big guns. And overall, I love the aesthetic. It's really cool. I made myself some tea, so I might blow on it a bit. Flayed ones. Now, Flayed ones got their refresh in a Kill Team box that was really bad. But I think overall, they're obviously an upgrade because they're not resin anymore. But I wish they had maybe a bit more gore on them. Though I like their posing quite a bit, so we're not going to knock them too far down. We're probably going to rank them sort of around like the cavalry area, which I know is a weird place to put them. We'll probably put them like right behind the Ravenwing Black Knights. No, behind the Talon Jackals. Yeah. Oh god. Ghost Ark. Ghost Ark is cool. I like it. It's gonna go sort of trailing behind the rest of the transports, methinks. Near the bottom of A tier. We got Destroyers. I do like these guys, mainly because I'm partial to the last remaining dregs of classic Necrons. Though these guys unfortunately don't have their bright green rods anymore, I still think they are an interesting look back at what was, and for that reason I quite like them, and I like their rules actually. They remind me a lot of Flash Gits. We're gonna put these guys right near the top of B tier, despite being old, which I know may seem a little counterintuitive. We're probably gonna put them right near the Strike Marines, maybe behind the Purgation Squad, which is this one. Locust Heavy Destroyer. I quite like this guy. He's a cool light vehicle. Kind of fills the Sentinel gap for me in this range. Oh, my dog is getting up. I don't want to spill hot tea. Please go lay down on my bed. We're gonna put the Heavy Destroyer probably just behind the Dreadnoughts and these guys, and here next to the Warwalker actually, and ahead of Lord Discord. I really like the gun that he has, the Amnitic Annihilator. I think it looks way cooler than the big Gauss gun. Gauss, Gamma, a reference, shout out. Ooh, we're coming on to another great one right here. General Grievous, but with a bunch of pistols. I'm a big Hexmark fan. This guy's going right to a really good character tier. Right in the sort of the mix, probably above Invo. Above him. Right here. Next up, Immortals. These guys are going to go near heavy weapons as well, similar to the Hexmarks, but I like these guys more than I like Hexmarks. I like their Tesla guns. If you don't know, I'm an Orc player, and I was all the way back in 7th edition, where we got exploding sixes on pretty much everything. So I really am quite partial to anything that gives me sustained hits. Imatech. I do like Imatech's Refresh. It's nice to see him not be in resin anymore, but I don't think he's that spectacular. We're going to put him in okay character tier, in my opinion. Probably at the top of it, though. Like ahead of Nork. Yeah. Next up, we got Lichguard. I quite like Lichguard. I think they're pretty cool. But if I'm being honest, I prefer their war scythes that they have equipped in this picture more than I like their shield, which is unfortunate because the war scythes tend to be worse. But who knows? Maybe I'll just I'll run them as one while building them as the other. These guys are probably going to go in a similar tier to like right around here. I made an executive decision to put TAC Marines up here and Devastators. Yeah. Monolith. You gotta love a Monolith, yeah? I think the Monolith's a pretty S tier thing. It's very 40k, very ominous, floating, big thing. Probably right behind the Knight Castellan. The Murder Buckets, Cryptothralls. I like these guys. They're silly little guys. I'm going to put them next to Nurglings. I have similar feelings about them both. So Nurglings need to be down here, and so does Tigurius. Yeah, that's right. That's definitely right. Doom Scythe, big croissant with a death ray on it. It's a flyer, but it's a Necron flyer, which I do like the Necron flyers. But, I'm not in love with it. I think the Doom Ray looks slightly ungainly. We're going to put it in with the okay vehicle tier. Catan Shard of the Nightbringer. I like this guy, even though he's resin and he can get a bit flooby. I probably like him around here. I like him more than Karamazov just because human faces really did not age well in resin, unless your name is Samael. Tesseract, Vault, and Transcendent Catan. Yeah, it's a super heavy, but not a terribly interesting one. Right there. And the Transcendent Catan would go higher, but I forgot to grab a picture of it, but it would be next to, like, it'd be in good character. Like, it'd be near the, not these guys, but it would be near, like, the Chronomancer in them. Oh, God. Vargard Obyron. Better than Anrakir. Still resin. Still not that interesting. Behind the Sanguinor. And where's his boss? Here he is. Ophidian Destroyers. So call back to the old days when Wraiths were big, gangly, legless Necrons. Which I am partial to throwbacks. These guys are going to go in, like, upper B tier. Probably around, like, this tier. Orican the Diviner. Now, I'm a bigger fan of his update. I think he looks a lot more interesting and a lot more unique these days. We're going to put him in the thick of the good characters. More than Nexus. Probably right here. Indomitus Overlord. Pretty solid model. But nothing super special. We're going to put him like around the Indomitus Chaplain. Why not? Head of him, definitely ahead of them. Maybe like right behind Imatech. Plasmancer. I do like Plasmancer. He's a cool model. I dig the floaties. We're gonna put him ahead of the Chronomancer. Not Technomancer, sorry. Ooh, Psychomancer. This is an easy S tier model. Love the build, love the cool holographic skull, and overall it's just a really cool model. I really do like the Psychomancer. I wish it was a little stronger, but I still think they did it pretty well. Canoptic Reanimator, so the Junior Doomstalker. It's okay. I don't feel too strongly about it. It's very much a background piece. Like right here. Royal Warden. I'm going to put him next to the Immortals. I feel like they're just one and the same for the most part. If I could fit him. There we go. Scorpek Lord. This is another easy S tier. I love the Scorpek stuff. I think it's really awesome. I think it really is sick. And to pair with him, we have Scorpek Destroyers, which are going near the top of A tier. I love these guys. They're very cool. We're probably going to put them near like Wraithguard. They have very similar vibes, at least in my mind. They're big, they're chunky, they've got big scary weapons, and they're cool. Ooh, Silent King. This might be a little controversial, but I'm going to put him in A tier instead of S tier, but definitely near the top of A tier. Man, my throat is really kicking my ass right now. It may not sound like it, but it feels like it. I should probably go pop some Tylenol because I've got a headache as well, but you know what? Tylenol's for the weak. I mean, ibuprofen. Right here. What next? Illuminor Ceres. I do like Illuminor Ceres quite a lot. I think he is really cool. And his model's awesome. So we're also going to put him near the top of A tier. Probably sort of around the hex mark. Who's next? Oh, what are these called? Tomb somethings? Tomb somethings? I really couldn't tell you. Let's go to full screen. Tomb Scythes, I think is what they're called. They're really weak bikers, in my opinion. Probably all the way at the bottom of the biker section. No, even lower than that. I really don't mess with these things that much. I think they're kind of whack. Screamers. Overlord Translocation Shroud. I like this model a lot. I think the teleportation effect is really well done. He takes a lot of different painting techniques really well. And he's overall a pretty cool dude. I like to run him with my Immortals. Right here. Trazin. Resin, uninteresting pose. Real letdown for such a cool character, but he's going into the throes of Resin character town. Triarch Praetorians. Jump Pack Necrons, but despite me liking jetpacks, these guys are just not very interesting. I like them more than the Death Guard. Probably right between the Death Guard and the Space Wolves. Triarch Stalker. This I like more. It's going to OK Vehicleville. Probably near the bottom of it, though. This is the Tesseract Vault. The Tesseract Vault is similar to the Obelisk, but cooler. But not by much. It's also a nightmare to transport. Void Dragon. I do like the Void Dragon quite a lot. I don't think it's any surprise that he's probably going in S tier along with his Necron brethren. What about the Scorpec Destroyers? Right here, yeah. Who's next? Warriors. They're a solid squad of infantry, though not terribly customizable and a little monopose for my tastes. But that's not new to them. That's been a Necron thing for a while. Probably put them just ahead of the Intercessors. Yeah. Oh, who is this? This is Wraiths. I like Wraiths. They're pretty cool. Probably sort of a lower middle B tier. Probably like near the Seraphim and Zephyrim. Now we're on to my bread and butter. Orcs. So this is the generic war boss, or Gut Rippa, I think was his name, when he had his own box with a squad of knobs, which was a great value box, but I don't think they sell it anymore. This guy is a little monopose, but I like the pose, and I like the squig. So he's probably going to go into like the lower end of characters in A tier. Probably right around here. Because he lacks any meaningful options, which is definitely a shame, but it's a great model. Beast Boss on Squigosaur. I've made this point very well known, but I love this kit. It's so awesome. It's a orc riding a dinosaur. What's there not to like? Like, eat your heart out, Eldar. We got it before you did. Easy S tier. Probably near the top of it as well. Probably just behind the Demon Prince. Yeah. I like those models in a very similar way. On the other end of the spectrum, Beast Boss on foot. Not the biggest fan. I think out of all the Beast Snaggas, this guy is probably one of my least favorite. We're going to put him here. No, above the Doge Mata and the Phobos Captain. He's a good model, but he doesn't feel war bossy enough. This is a Burnabama flyer, but it's an orc flyer, which I do like. But it's most of the orc flyers really blend together, if I'm being honest. Probably going to go near the top of B tier in terms of flyers. Probably right ahead of these bikers here. And, let's just grab this one as well. And I'll grab the Daka Jet as well, just to get it out of the way. Daka Jet. And finally, I am going to grab the Wazbomb now, just to get all the flyers out of the way so I don't repeat myself. Wazbomb is my favorite. It's going to go maybe a few pegs higher. I really liked Wazbombs. Shame they're not super good this edition. This is the Custom Boosta Blasta. Is that right? I think so. I think this is the Custom Boosta Blasta. This is a pretty cool vehicle, even though I'm not the biggest buggy fan. Probably in the biker tier again. They have very similar vibes. But low on the biker tier. The good biker tier, I mean. Big Ed Boss Bunka. Probably at the top of D because it's a fortification. But I do like it. It's a Gargant head. What's not to like? Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Perhaps GW's best aging kit. These guys came out in 1999, and to this day still look good with great defined details and plenty of options. Probably here, even though they can be a little monopose given the fact that their asses are all in the exact same position. The New Boys. Aesthetically, I really like the New Boys. Monopose, I could live with, but not a huge fan of the restricted options. These guys are going to go near the top of B tier instead. Probably right behind the Immortals. Back to more great kits. Burnas. I like Burnas. I love the welding mask that one of them has. I honestly wish they all had them. I will probably order bits to give them all that when I get my that new orc box. Here. And by extension, oh, the Death Dread. Now this is subject to change. Death Dread, though. Right here. Death Dread's sick. Coolest walker. 4 arms, plenty of options, really great. The new Death Coptas. I love them model-wise, and I think overall they're super successful in reimagining the Black Fortress ones. We're going to put these guys sort of an upper B tier, probably right behind a lot of these, probably right behind the Reavers. Flash gets easy S tier. Big orcs with cool guns. They're pretty customizable to an extent. And they've got cool pirate theming going, so wins the whole way around. Gorkanaut. The Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut. Let's pull Morkanaut up here. They're pretty similar in my eyes. I'm never quite sure how I feel about the Gorkas and the Morkas. I think I like them. No doubt I like them. But how much I like them is less clear. They're obviously playing second fiddle to the Stompa, which puts them in its shadow. The models are good. I like the troop bay they have in their stomachs and the cool guns. Overall, these guys are probably going to be in lower A tier. Together. Probably right here in like the thick of a lot of these vehicles that I like, but I'm not in love with. And we'll put the Gorkanaut in there too. Or Morkanaut, rather. Gretchen. This is a kit that's fine. They're monopose. Their posing's good. And the Runt Herd has some fun options like a whip or a grabby stick and the squig. But they're really held back by the fact that they're monopose. We're going to put them ahead of these guys. And them. Oh, look at that. Look how close we're getting. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 rows left. That means we're getting to like 120 left. Battle Wagon. Battle Wagon straight to S tier. This thing I have very similar feelings towards like the Land Raiders. I love Battle Wagons. And my mom got me one as a present when she was in England, which is another reason I like them super a lot. Now, on the other hand, Hunter rigs and kill rigs. These are kits that I've sort of soured on with age. Not that I dislike them. I still think they're great kits. But I feel like just something about them doesn't quite work for me. I wish they were wider. They feel rather narrow and weirdly top-heavy, which is fitting for orcs, but I don't know. Something about it doesn't quite work. I honestly wish this big squig, armored squig in the front, was like a monster orcs could take. I think that would be a cool addition. Even though I know we're not getting it this one because we're getting this mech guy, who I'm going to rank very highly. These guys, though, are probably going to go in sort of lower A tier, lower mid. Yeah, because I'm probably going to put them like right ahead of the Manticore. And same with the Kill Rig. Definitely Kill Rig higher than the Hunter Rig. And I think part of it is the fact that you can't skewer flyers out of the air anymore. If you didn't know, back in 9th edition, when these guys first came out, if you hit them with your skewer, a model couldn't move further than 12 inches away. So if you shot a plane, which had to move at least 20 inches, it would instantly crash and burn, which I think was just such a cool thing. But they FAQ'd it for some reason. It was super unlikely because it's Orgy Ballistic skill, man. It's not that likely they're going to one-tap a Valkyrie or a Manta. Ooh, Big Mech custom force field. Just make a custom one out of a knobs box. Resin, ugly model that I don't think ages particularly well. And not in a fun way, more so in a like, wow, this guy feels old way. Killicans. I do like me Killicans. The one problem that holds them back from greatness is they only include one of each weapon option. But still, I think they're fantastic. I'm probably going to put these guys behind like the Aberrants. They have very similar vibes. They're big, they got some good melee, and they're tanky. Oh man, that tea feels good. Commandos. I like the Commandos. They're going to go in up to A tier as well. I quite like the options they have, even if they can be a little monopose. And when I say monopose, I'm not saying literally, but I'm saying like their poses are pretty fixed. I'm going to put them probably ahead of Kill Team Cassius. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Luda's quintessential orc unit. Really cool guns. Gonna put them right next to the Custodes. Though out of the two, I honestly prefer the Burnas. Mega Knobs, and by extension, Big Mech with Mega Armor. I love this kit. It's so cool. Lots of bits. I love the Teleport Blaster. I use it as a custom force field, though. Still. They're Terminators, so you know where they're going, right? You know where they're going? They're going to S tier. S tier. Right behind the Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Mech guns. Mech guns are very solid. I love most of their weapon options. And they make good backdrops. But since they're mainly background, they're probably going to end up in B tier. Probably around like these gladiators here. Yeah. Come with a bunch of Gretchen, which makes for a nice filler Gretchen squad. Mozrog is going to go right next to the Beast Boss. These are right a tier just, you know, Beast Boss right here. But I prefer the vanilla one to Mozrog, to Mog. And just so you know, these guys are neck and neck with the Death Dread. I could put them any which way, really. Knob with Wa Banner. Unfortunately, a model I don't think that's aged very well. That's from a very gritty era of 40k, which is fine. I like that era, but I don't think he aged particularly well. Or if I'm not mistaken, he's either resin or he's still metal, which is not pleasant. Probably right here with the company heroes of Ultramarines. Knobs. Now the knobs, I think they're from 2006, I want to say. So they're a little bit more modern than the boys. And I honestly don't like them quite as much. Oh no, I dropped them. I wish there was... Wait, can I just grab and click? No. So I have to hold down with mouse 1. They're still a great kit, lots of options, but they're missing some, like they don't have enough power claws for everyone. But I like all their accessories that they come with, but that does probably earn them more so like right behind the Stern Guard in terms of my opinion. Mini Mech. I actually quite like this guy. I think he's really characterful. They pack into a small footprint. Overall, I quite like this guy. I'm not sure when he's from, but I like him. We're gonna put him like around here, probably just ahead, just behind this guy. And speaking of great characters, Pain Boy. This guy also a little on the older side. I think from the same era as the Knobs, but this is probably my favorite medic model. We're gonna put him in great character tier. I love the just giant power claw with the saw and the syringes. It's just a great model. We're gonna put him here. Now, behind the hex mark, and Sarah's. Pain Boss, on the other hand, I'm not as big a fan of. It's a fine character, but I think it's more so like this tier of character. Onto the rest of the buggies. Rucka Truck Squig Buggy. I don't know, I've just never super been into the buggy aesthetic. And for that matter, we're going to put all of them here. This is the Burna Boosta, I think it is. Megatrack Scrapjet's the coolest one. This one is actually going to go like up here. Yeah. And Shaft Jump Drags to Jet. Probably next to the mech plane. Big mech with shock attack gun, a 5th edition classic. You know, I gotta put him in S tier. Literally shooting a midget through a black hole into someone is about as 40k as you can get. So you know I gotta put this guy probably just behind the Cerastus. Beast Snagaboys. I do like Beast Snagaboys. I think they're pretty cool, but they're not as cool as standard orcs. I prefer the more normal orc aesthetic, though I know Beast Snagas do have a huge following. So I'm not going to be like super harsh to them or anything. I'm probably going to put them right next to these guys. Snickrot. Good character. That's all I can really say. Probably right around here. Squiggly Pigglies. I like these guys. These are good bikers. We're going to put them in A tier. Probably right around the Seraphim and Zephyrim. Head of the Accursed Cultists. Right here. Yep, I'm fine with that. Stompa. There's no way I can't put it in S tier. It's a Titan-sized trash can that you put on the table, and it's just so funny. Probably just behind the monolith. Storm Boys. Storm Boys are really cool jump pack guys with cool weapons and even cooler jet packs. Putting them right next to their Space Marine contemporaries right around here. I love Storm Boys. I love they include these melee weapons. Or it's a choppa and a shooter that are like underslung on the arms. I need to get a new box of these guys so I can have those bits added to my collection. And to have some more Storm Boys, which are always good. Ooh! Oof, yeah. Gazgul, straight into S tier, in the thick of the Primarchs. Probably more than the Lion, more than Abaddon. Between him and the Deathwing Knights for the best model in S tier. Truck. Truck is a great standard transporter. Head of the Taurox. War bikers. I like the aesthetic, but these things are just such a nightmare to put together that I just can't. I can't rank them super highly. Their wheels are horrible. They're horrid. Probably like bottom of, near the top of C tier. Because they look good, but they're just such a pain in the ass to build. War Boss in Mega Armor. Great character tier despite being no options, which is a shame. So that means lower end of great character tier. Wish he had Power Claw. Deathkiller Wartrike is a good character. Not my favorite, though. I've never been super in love with the Deathkiller Wartrike. I prefer War Boss on Warbike from Forge World. So we'll probably earn him a spot right around here. Yeah. Hold on before I do this. Royal Warden. Get down there. Ugh. Another relic of a Fargon era. Next to the knob with Walpole. Which I can't seem to find. There he is. I think this model looks good, except for a few small details that really ruin it. Mainly the grot hanging onto the 90-degree chain. And Zodgrod. He's going to good character tier. Right there. Ooh. This guy to me is just such an amazing model. I know there's a lot of orcs in S tier, but what can I say? I'm an orc player. This guy's just so cool. I'm probably going to rate him right here. It's just a great pose, great options. The tractor cannon is such a sick look, and the cool weapon he has on his other arm, also great. Just has some cool options. Okay, we're on to the Tau. The Tau. We're on to our last 2 races, fellas. We are in the end game now. Oh, God, this video is going to be 3 hours long. Okay, Breacher Squad. I like the Breachers. I think they're one of my favorite squads of Xenos infantry, which earns them a spot probably just below good character tier, probably right around the Black Templar Crusader squad. Who's next? Broadside. Easy S tier. I love broadsides. Big mech, big gun. If you build them with the missile pods, you're wrong. Always build them with the railgun. Kroot. I can't quite place it, but I don't find the Kroot update as nice as I was hoping. C tier. Right here. I guess that's B tier. Yeah, C tier's being harsh, I'd say. Actually, no, not really. I have very similar feelings to them as I do Jackals. Crisis suits. Now you're going to notice a trend here with what I put in S tier for the Tau. And it's going to be battle suits. Battle suits for days. Dark Strider. He's fine. I find his refresh was not different enough for me to really feel any different about him. Devilfish. It's an okay transport. Probably going to slap it behind everyone else. No. I love the burst cannons. I can't lie. So ahead of the Ghost Ark and the Falcon. Fortifications. And for our next S tier, I think I have to go Crisis Suit Commander. It's super customizable. You can put 4 weapons on it. The posing's really cool. The whole build is sick. I really do like this guy. Probably right around the Bloodthirster. Probably ahead of the Tech Marine. I'm not even necessarily like a Farsight diehard, but I don't care about ethereals. Speaking of Farsight, I don't think this is a controversial take, but I think he's the best model in their range. Probably just behind Mephiston. I like Mephiston's model a lot. I need to get that. Maybe do a video on it. Kroot. Better than the refresh, but I was so looking forward to there being a greater Narlock, and they didn't, and therefore I'm crushed. Cadra Fireblade. I don't really care. I just don't. Like him more than that, more than Zachariah. Right there. Kroot Flesh Shaper. You know what? I'm going to break the sequence a little bit. All the Kroot stuff is going to go into C and B tier. These guys in particular. C tier. Not S, but high A for certain. Right here. Hammerhead also going up to a high A. Actually, not high. Probably at the front of the Predators. Kroot Hounds. I actually quite like these more than I like the normal Kroot. I think they look a lot better. Same with Krutox Rider. Honestly, I like the Krutox Rider the most, I think. We're going to put him up here. No, actually, even higher than that. Probably on the Venom Crawler. I really like that guy. And I like this guy, too. I think it's cool. I like the dichotomy of him wearing a saddle and him and he has a bit in the thing's mouth. But the Krutox doesn't need that because of their kin bond. Pathfinders are See, I like Pathfinders, but I wish they had the asymmetrical shoulder pads, which is the biggest thing holding them back and putting them down here. Piranha, old model, still looks pretty cool, I think. Probably near like the bikers. I remember my brother putting that together in our apartment bathroom. Krutox Rampagers go here. Oh god, we're getting so, look, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60 left. A little less because this row isn't full. Oh, fellas, can you feel it? Can you feel it? The Riptide, you know where it's going. It's going to the bottom of S tier. Grimnir, move up. I like the Riptide. It's a big crisis suit, which is hard to go wrong with. Shadow Sun, on the other hand, is merely okay. She just doesn't do much for me in terms of design. I think the unique suits, Farsight has her beat. Posing, Farsight has her beat. Pretty much everything, Farsight just does better. Skyray Gunship. It alright. Probably like right here. I'd always build a hammerhead over it. Ew, dinner plates on sticks. Really don't like this model. Now, stealth suits go hard. Hard. High A tier, probably right behind the Chthonian, but no, behind the Sternguard, and yeah. I want to run a big army of stealth suits and battle suits, and that's it. Vespids, resin, uninteresting posing, and very, very static. Wish they all had helmets, too. I don't think they look very good. They look like Buzz Lightyear aliens. Storm Surge. Wish it had arms. And for that sin... right there. That might be even a little high for the Storm Surge, but I like the over-shoulder cannon. Ugh, Tau Planes, don't care. Just don't care. Fire Warriors going next to the Breachers, which are up here. Now it's Pathfinders. Breachers, who are right here. I actually prefer the Breacher guns. These things are just drones. They're not terribly interesting. Probably like right behind the Chaos Bikers. Kroot Trail Shaper. It's it alright. And same with the War Shaper. Okay, fellas, ring it in for Army 20. Is this Army 30 if we count all the Space Marine chapters? I think this is Army 30. Starting off, we have Barbies. I like Barb Gaunts. They're kind of background pieces, though. They're not centerpieces. We're going to put them in with these guys, the squads. Probably like back here, actually, because they're monopose. Biovore. I really like the Biovore refresh. These guys are going to go into a high B tier. Probably just ahead of the Bikers, like right around here. Broodlord. Never been a huge fan of this model. The head looks a little weird. And I think the Patriarch is just a better model. And for this sin, he's probably going to end up in like, probably around the Khorne characters. They have a similar vibe in my mind. Death Leaper S tier. Easily. Easy. Not even up for contention. He's such a sick model. Probably actually like up here. I love the flesh cloak that looks like a vampire squid, which is a cool aesthetic. Norn Emissary. Very cool. Wish it was bigger. Wish it was night-sized. However, I can't knock it too hard. It's still really sick. We're probably going to put it in with the walkers around here. Right there. And for that matter, let me grab the assimilator and put it there too. Right here. Actually, we're gonna put you at the bottom of this section because the emissary is just way cooler than the assimilator. Exocrine. Solid artillery bug. Gonna go with the artillery of the guard, but behind the defiler and the spider. Hey, gargoyles. One of the last dregs of the old Tyranids still hanging on. And I wish they could take spine fists, man. Oh, excuse me. T just came back up. That's fun. Right here. This is the Hive Crone, I want to say. In terms of flyers, these are probably my favorite. These guys are probably going to go in like sort of middling of A tier. I love the big wings, probably just behind the Valkyries. And we're going to do the same for the Harpy, which is this one, with the big mouth gun. I remember when they were insanely good in 9th edition. Ah, Haruspex. Haruspex is going to be our first Tyranid S tier. This thing is just so hilarious. I love the gaping maw, the springing out tongue that can eat characters. Probably on the lower end of S tier, but still an S tier model. It's just such a nightmare to look at from the front. Hive Guard. Never been a huge fan. They're heavy weapons troops, which I do like, but I prefer Tyrant Guard for the most part. So we're probably going to place them right around the Breachers. They're honestly like kind of the same thing, but for Tyranids. New Hormagaunts. These guys are good. They're still Hormagaunts though, so they're going to end up in like B tier. Probably like right behind the Gene Stealer cults guys. And then we're going to put, the Lictor. The Lictor is another at low S tier. If you've never put that model together, it's super posable and really awesome. Big Brain Bug. Never been a huge fan of the Maliceptor. I don't know, it just doesn't do much for me. And I don't think its posing's terribly interesting either to help it. It doesn't have any standout features. It's kind of like, if you just think of like the concept of a Tyranid monster, this thing comes up, but it's like a Carnifex with all the edges removed. And for that, you earn a placement in Mediocre Vehicleville, which is down here, actually. Probably near the lower end of this, too. Trigon. Or is this the Moloch? I think this is the Moloch, because it has the big mouth. This is a pretty awesome model. It's probably going to go into lower A tier. Whoops. Left him behind. Probably right around, like... here. And I'm going to do the same for the Trigon. Just right here. Because the Moloch is definitely a few spaces cooler. Probably down here for the Trigon. Down here. Next up, Parasite of Motrex. Very cool model. Like the posing, like the leathery wings, like the lore. Pretty cool character. I'm actually going to put him near the artwork characters. He feels like he would be an artwork character, you know what I mean? Neragants. Gretchen, but Tyranids. Neuralictor. Not quite S tier, but certainly at the bottom of good character tier. Sick model. And a fan favorite, if you've ever seen some Etsy listings. Zoanthropes. I like Zoanthropes. They're big brain floaty guys that shoot big mind lasers. Probably going to be like a lower A tier, though. Nothing too special at IMO. Right there. Speaking of big brain bugs, this is another S tier right here, and just behind Death Leaper. Just ahead of Death Leaper, actually, in my opinion. I love the Neurotyrant sick model. Oh, the Carnifexes, the Dreadnoughts of this world. And for that, Yeah, that's right. I love Carnifexes. They're sick. Love their kit. Aged really well. The Psyker Eater, Psychophage. I like the Psychophage. It's going to go into like lower A vehicles, like right around here, right behind the Megatrack. He eats. I like his pose. I like the model in general. Pyrovore is going to go near the Biovore, which I put somewhere. I should have grabbed them at the same time, eh? Oh, Biovore, where are you? There's no way it's this high. I don't know, I'm scrolling this far. Wow, I really can't find this guy, eh? Don't know why I keep saying A. A, not Canadian. Frigate. Put it with the artillery. I do like the Pyrovore, though. It's a very beefy guy. I like him. Raveners. Old, don't hold up super well. Probably going to end up in, like, low C tier. I'm not a huge fan. And now we're on to the best model that the Tyranids have, and it's the Screamer Killer. The pose is awesome. The design is awesome. Everything about it is awesome, even though it's monopose. Right behind the Doomstalker. I give him a good run for his money, the Swarm Lord. Even though I think the Swarm Lord is my least favorite out of the Swarm Lord versus the Hive Tyrant. So we're gonna put the Swarm Lord in good characters of sort of the artwork character tier. Hormagaunts. Termagants. Sorry, not Hormagaunts. Where did I put Hormagaunts? Right here. They look cool in a big horde. Turvagon. I'm gonna put this near the APCs. Very similar feelings to them. I like the Turvagon. It's a cool model. I like the guys coming out. Mucilid Spore. Ooh, yeah, Fortification. No, nothing more to be said. Venomthropes. I like Venomthropes. Where did I put Zoanthropes? I feel like I just saw him, eh? Huh. I like these guys, though. I like the tentacles, the tentacles. I put him right next to... I know who I put him next to. I put him next to the Storm Surge. Storm Surge is in, like, low A. Yeah. I really like the Venomthropes. I love the grasping arms look. Look at this, fellas. We're in the last row. On the other hand, Toxicrin, kind of lame. Don't get much from the Toxicrin. Winged Prime. Good character tier, but low good character tier. What is this? This is the Drop Pod. It's just a Mucilid Spore. I really don't feel much about it. Tyrannifex. No, I do like the Tyrannifex quite a lot. Probably with the Predators. They have a similar vibe, though the Tyrannifex carries a much bigger gun. I do like Tyrant Guard quite a lot. I want to run a lot of them in big squads. Low S tier, though. And same with this guy, actually. I prefer the on-foot Hive Tyrant to the winged one. Yep. Only 3 left. Von Ryans. Definitely sort of a middle to high A tier. Probably right around the Havocs in these guys. A good accent to your centerpiece. Tyranid Warriors. Very similar, actually. I like the posability. I like the stances. Probably put them up with some of the Aspect Warriors, honestly. And here we go, the last one. Going to great character tier. I don't like the wings that much, but I can't even deny that they're cool. Right here. And you may wonder, what about these guys? Well, they're already on the list. I just uploaded them twice. Alright guys, you ready for the grand finale of this video? I'm gonna read every single name from worst to best. Let me chug some water to get ready. Oh, no water in there. Cold tea will have to do. Alright, let's go. Last place, Belial. Tank Busters, Miasmic Malignifier. Hammerfall Bunker, Sniper Jones, Swooping Hawks, Inquisitor, Preacher with Chainsword, Herald of Cornon Juggernaut, Herald of Slanesh, Androkir the Traveler, Epidemius, Missionary with Chainsword, Death Cult Assassins, Corvus Blackstar, Wolfborn, Astorath, Brother Captain, Kaldor Drago, Big Mech Custom Force Field, Knight Commander Pask, Vargard O'Brien, Trazyn the Infinite, Sanguinor, Crusaders, Demonettes on Fiends, Fiend Chariot, Hellflayer, Exalted Chariot, Demonettes, The Mask, Fiends, Hellflayer, Fulgurite Electro Priests, Catachans, Nob with Wabanner, Weird Boy, Honored of the Chapter, Feculent Gnarlmaw, Zangor Enlightened, Zangor Shaman, Zangor Enlightened, Aegis Defense Line, Cavernous of Dominion, Tidewall Drone Port, Tidewall Shield Wall, Wubway Gate, Noctilith Crown, Mucilid Spore, Tyrannid Drop Pod, Ratlings, Ezekiel, Vespid Stingwings, Warp Spiders, Homunculus, Dialogus, Tau Drones, Chaos Bikers, Big Ed Boss Bunka, Raveners, Catan, Shard of the Deceiver, Celeste the Contorted Epitome, Soul Grinder, Herald of Tzeentch on Disc, Muleth Vortex Feast, Stormwolf, Frozen Wolf, Blue Horrors, Fenrisian Wolf, Cyberwolf, Wolflord Crom, Devastator Centurions, Assault Centurions, Karamazov, Nightbringer, Cultists, Felgor Beastmen, Euclidean Starsiders, Prosecutors, Witch Seekers, Vigilators, Bloodclaws, Sunshark Bomber, Razor Shark Bomber, Void Raven Bomber, Sky Splinter, Assault Craft, Crimson Hunter, Wraith Fighter, Harlequin Tank, Storm Talon Interceptor, Storm Hawk, Gunship, Skull Cannon, Catachan Heavy Weapon Teams, Catachan Command Squad, Arco Flagellants, Kroot Flesh Shaper, Kroot Carnivores, Jackals, Desolation Squad, Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight Armor, Drop Pod, Lilith Hesprax, Hellions, Chaplain, Typhus, Toxicrin, Plagueburst Crawler, Tallyman, Death Shroud Terminators, Plague Surgeon, Plague Marines, Lord Felthius and his tainted cohort, Biologus Putrefier, Plague Marine, Icon Bearer, Grenade Guy, Chosen of Mortarion, Poxwalkers, Triarch-Praetorians, Rune Priest, Iron Priest, Arjax Stonefist, Njal Stormcaller, Lord of Virulence. No, not Lord of Virulence. Yeah, Lord of Virulence. Kyria Draxus, Inquisitor Greyfax, Lieutenant Lazarus, Junith Erota, Regimental Attaches, Primaris Psyker, Trail Shaper, Kroot War Shaper, Herald of Nurgle, Sloppy Bile Piper, Plague Bearers, Plague Drones, Horticulus Slimemucks, Blue Scribes, Exalted Flamer, Flamers, Herald of Tzeentch on Skimmer, Fate Skimmer, Exalted Burning Chariot, Pink Horrors, Tomb Scythes, Gargoyles, Neragants, Gretchen, Screamers, Warbikers, Lamarties, Guardian of the Lost, Harkin, no, not Harkin, Sergeant Harker, Inquisitor Kodiaz, Ironhand Strachan, Vulcan Histan, Samael, Kroot Farstalker Kinband, Kroot Hounds, Warlock on Jetbike, Viper, Exalted 8-Bound, Herald of Tzeentch, Skulltaker on Chariot of Corn, Karanak, Fleshhounds, Skulltaker, Herald of Corn, Broodlord, Bloodletters, Skitarii Vanguard, Archaeopters, Sisters Novitiates, Plague Drone, Beast of Nurgle, Venom, Stormwolf Cavalry, Logan Grimnar on Stormcaller, Ragnar Blackmane, Wolfin, Ulrich the Slayer, Wolflord on Thunderwolf, Chaos Spawn, Wolfguard Terminators, Scorpius Disintegrator, Scorpius, Maleceptor, Inceptor, Annihilation Barge, Obelisk Tesseract Vault, Gladiator Valiant, Reanimator, Harlequin Jetbikes, Ravenwing Plains, the Dark Shroud, the Storm Speeder, Hailstrike, Thunderstrike, Hammerstrike, Invictor Tactical Warsuit, Gladiator Lancer, Castigator, Invader ATV, Command Barge, Doom Scythe, Krutox Rampagers, Rax Witches, Lagus, Black Templars Marshal, Blood Angels Terminator Librarian, Techno Archaeologist, Magus Primaris Librarian, Sisters Palatine, Chaos Sorcerer, Warlocks, Ethereal on Disc, Primaris Lieutenant, Primaris Captain, Primaris Ancient, Lieutenant Zachariah, Chaos Lord, Canoness, Cadra Fireblade, Incursors, Dogmata, Landspeeder Vengeance, Phobos Captain, Beast Boss, Grey Hunters, Hounds of Morkai, Lord on Juggernaut, Blood Crushers, Cerberus Sulphur Hounds, Outriders, Shroud Runners, Skyray Gunship, Repulsor Executioner, Met Guns, Talos Kronos, Astrid Thurga, Hospitaller, Cataphren Destroyers, Cataphren Breachers, Hiveguard Flayed Ones, Adelan Jackals, Skyweaver Jet Bikes, Piranha, Ravenwing Bike Squad, Ravenwing Command Squad, Infiltrators, Triarch Stalker, Support Weapon, Firestrike Servo Turrets, Venom Crawler, Kroot Lone Spear, Krutox Rider, Gladiator Reaper, Doomsday Arc, Razorback, Hellhammer, Eliminators. Oh no. Propagandist, the Changeling, Indomitus Chaplain, Winged Prime, Assassin, Genestealer Assassin, Sanguinary Priest, Jackal Alphys, Icon Wardbearer, Pain Boss, Officio Prefectus, Commissar, Reductus Saboteur, Darkstrider, Commissar, what's her name? Shadow Sun. That's it. Shadow Sun, Master Executions, Cadian Castellan, Uldred Ulthwin, Uthar the Destined, Farseer Skyrunner, Jane Czar, Brood Coven, Farseer, Nork Deadog, Indomitus Overlord, Imatek the Stormlord, Sidonian Dragoons, Sicarian Infiltrators, Ophidian Destroyers, Inquisitor Henchmen, Barb Gaunts, Dire Avengers, Arbites, Rangers, Zodgrod Wartsnaga, Archon, Ursula Creed, Intercessors, Warriors, Intercessors, Infernus Marines, Heavy Intercessors, Aggressors, Dark Angels, Company Veterans, Infernal and Rapturous, Penitent Engines, Mortifiers, Burna Boosta, Rocket Truck Squig Buddy, Custom Boosta Blasta, Reaver jet bikes, Windrunner jet bikes, Shining Spears, Hernkin Pioneers, Bomber, Burnabama, Daka Jet, Imperial Navy Breachers, Brood Brothers, Cadian Shock Troopers, Bayavor, Shock Jump Dragstow, Wazbomb Blastojet, Hormagons, Termagants, Neophyte Hybrids, Cadian Command Squad, Sisters Repentia, Deathcopters, Reavers, Master of Oldus, Warden, Necron Warden, Reaver Captain, Gravis with Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle, Eradicators, Succubus, Watchmaster, Mech, Einhir Champion, Solitaire, Technomancer, Plasmancer, Deathkiller Wartrike, Pathfinders, Deathwatch Kill Team Veterans, Purifiers, Interceptors, Lichguard Destroyers, Purgation Squad, Strike Squad, Triumph of St. Catherine, Celestians and Dominions, Sisters, Battle Sisters, Death Marks, Beast Naga Boys, Monopose Boys, Immortals, Retributors, Raptors, Warp Talons, Storm Guardians, Tech Priest Engine Seer, Dominus, Call, the Belisarius Call, Eisenhorn, Jump Pack, Admech, Scarian Ruststalkers, Sindonian Scattrus, Tech Priest Manipulus Dominus, Iron Striders, Horses, Vanguard, Cryptothrals, Nurglings, Tigurius, Trigon, Tactical Squad Devastators, Ghost Ark, Wave Serpent, Devilfish, Psychophage, Megatrack Scrapjet, Whirlwind, Pyrovore, Wyvern, Sisters Rhino, Sagittor, Ridge Runner, Rock Truck, Rock Grinder, Venomthropes, Storm Surge, Zoanthropes, Paragon Warsuits, Scourges, Ephral Stern and Kyganil, Wraiths, Zephyrim Seraphim, Accursed Cultists, Beast Boys riding Squigs, a Magifier Immolator, Celestian Sacrosands, Moloch Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, Swarmlord, Parasite of Mortrex, Special Kazukin, Azrak Terminator, Special Sisters Canoness, Special Sisters Canoness Part 2, Turvagon Falcon, Night Spinner, Raider Ravager, Rhino, Chaos Rhino, Tarox Truck, Ogren, Field Ordnance Batteries, Morkanaut, Gorkanaut, Hydra, Heavy Weapons Teams, Chimera, Mephitic Blight Hauler, Hellhound, Harpy, Hivecrone, Valkyrie, Exocrine, Spider, Defiler, Deathstrike Missile, Manticore, Killrig, Hunter Rig, Scouts, Murder Fang, Acolyte Hybrids, Cabalite Warriors, Kill Team Cassius, Commandos, Havocs, Von Ryan's Leapers, Jump Intercessors, Jump Captain, Furioso Dreadnought, Lieutenant, Customizable Lieutenant, Inceptors, Snickrot, Wraithseer, Customizable Gravis Captain, Loyalist Demolisher, Chaos Demolisher, Fire Prism, Land Fortress, Tyrannifex, Predator Destructor, Predator Chaos, Predator Annihilator, Ball Predator, Hammerhead Assault Terminator, Storm Raven Helldrake, Abominant, Killicans, Aberrants, Bulgrin, Warwalker, Lord Discordant on Hellstalker, Heavy Destroyer, Einhir Hearthguard, the Incarn, Nord Assimilator, Cerastus Acheron, and Cerastus Megabolter, Armiger Helvrins, Warglaves, Hybrid Metamorphs, Librarian Dreadnought, Death Company Dreadnought, Hellbrute Ballistus, Space Wolves Venerable, Norn Emissary, Night Preceptor / Canis Rex, Dark Commune, Crusader Squad, Fire Warriors, Breachers, Evrain, Shadowseer, Sorcerers, Warboss and Mega Armor, Warboss, Winged Hive Tyrant, Neurolictor, Captain and Terminator Armor, Warpsmith, Primaris Apothecary, Heroes of the Chapter, Indomitus Lieutenant, Dark Apostle, Uriel Ventress, Captain Messinius, Nexus, Orican Noise Marine, Overlord with Translocation Shroud, Chaos Lord on Jump Pack, Chronomancer, Cypher, Lieutenant with Combi Weapon, Terminator Chaplain, Call, Chaos Lord, Indomitus Captain, Marnius Calgar, Phobos Librarian, Adrax Agatone, Traitor Guardsman, Harken World Claimer, Onager Doomcrawler, Scout Sentinel, Skitari Marshal, Sanguinary Guard, Guardians, Alea, and Custodian Guard, Luda's Berserkers, Corn Berserkers, Hernkin Pilgrims, Hearthkin Warriors, Gene Stealers, Virtus Praetors, Attilan Rough Riders, Blade Champions, Slime Arbo, Custody Terminators, Wardens, Fabius Bile, Stormlord, Hammer, Hell Lord, the other Transport Baneblade, Tyrannid Warriors, Void Scarred Corsairs, Dark Reapers, Striking Scorpions, Howling Banshees, Burna Boys, Scions Command, Scions, Kriegs, Obliterators. Oh, excuse me. Sentinel, Morven Vol, Changer of Ways, Kairos Fate Weaver, Blightlord Terminators, Rodigus, Great Unclean One, Vashtor the Archifane, Ghost Keel, Autarch Wayleaper, Chaos Demons Demon Prince, Vindicare Calidus, Eversur, Chaplain with Jump Pack, Calexis Assassin, Death Jester, Knobs, Stealth Battlesuits, Stern Guard, Blade Guard Ancient, Blade Guard Veterans, Wraith Guard, Wraith Knight, Apothecary Biologist, Chthonian Berserks, Space Marine Possessed, Scorpec Lords, Wraith Guards, Storm Boys, Death Company, Vanguard Vets, Hellblasters, Blood Angels, Assault Terminators, Librarian, Terminator Armor, Lord and Terminator, Chaos Lord and Terminator Armor, Vizark, Lord Invocatus, Sorcerer and Terminator Armor, Dante, Pain Boy, Luminor Seraz, Hexmark Destroyer, Master of Possessions, Autarch, Scarab Occult Terminators, Legionaries Boys, Grimaldus, Black Templar Marshal, Brutalis Dreadnought, Rogel Dorn, Doomhammer, the War Dogs, Stalkers, Carnivores, Brigands, Lord of Skulls, Knight Gallant, Blue Knight, Knight Rampager, Knight Gallant, Knight Warden, Knight Desecrator, the other snub-nosed Baneblade variant, Zarek the Silent King, Rabute Gilliman, Chosen, oh god, what are they called? Sword Brethren, Inner Circle Companions, Tyrant Guard, Lictor, Haruspex, Riptide, Hive Tyrant, Kellermorph, Crisis Suits, Broadside, Flashgits, Incubi, Harlequins, Grimnir, Karn the Betrayer, Scorpec Lord, Diabolic, Infernal Master, Psychomancer, Stompa, Monolith Void Dragon, Knight Valiant, Sisters Artillery Organ, Scarbrand Bloodthirsters, Primaris Tech Marine, Commander in Crisis Suit, Brokir Thunderkin, Primaris Chaplain, Mortarian Magnus, Lehman Russ, Battlewagon, Carnifex's Redemptor, Venerable, Dreadnought, all the Land Raiders, Deathleaper Nero Tyrant, Mech with Shock Attack Gun, Big Mech Boss, Cerastus Knight Lancer, Special Edition Vindicare Assassin, Interrogator Chaplain, Avatar of Cain, Moggan Ra, Shadow Sword, Bane Blade, Bane Sword, High Marshal Helbrecht, Gaunt's Ghosts, Knight Paladins, Grey Knights Paladins, Grey Knights Terminators, Mega Knobs, Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Sorry, where was I? Bjorn the Fell-Handed, Mega Knobs, Lord Solar Leontis, Chaplain on Bike, Mosrock Scradbag, Beast Boss on Squigosaur, Demon Prince Asmodai, the Lion, Abaddon, Casgul Thraka, Deathwing Knights, and then for the best of the best, one from each faction, we have the Screamer Killer, Canoptic Doomstalker, Plague Marine Champion, Biophagus, Castellan Robots, Brokir Thunderkin, Knight Abominant, Angron Be'lakor, Knight Valiant, Corsaro Khan, Bjorn the Fell-Handed, Kayvon Shrike, Torgaradon, Ironfather Pharos, Trajan Valoris, Saint Celestine, Drazhar, Wraithlord Farsight, Mephiston, Rubric Marines, Death Dread, Kazrakin, Chaos Terminators, Emperor's Champion, Castellan Crow, Azrael, and finally, Jokero's Weaponsmith. That was a mouthful. Anyways, I've been Spoons Rattling. I hope you enjoyed this insanely long video, and I will see you all next time.